Welcome to day 2 of the May monthly finals, where today we will be giving away a golden ticket. I'm Carbon Finn, joined here with some amazing fellow co-casters. Itsu, are you ready?
I am so ready, but the big question is, do you have all of those golden tickets around you? Because make sure that no one is taking them away, because those teams want to get them really, really bad, because this is what they are chasing for, and this is what we're going to give away today. I'm really excited. Eric, are you as well?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need about 5 of those, because 5 of the 20 remaining players are going to the World Championship, and it's a very, very exciting day here today. What do you think about it, Woody?
I cannot wait! This is going to be the first time in a long time that I have, been able to be part of the casting crew when we're giving one of these things away, and it just, the excitement, the energy bubbling up inside me, I am so excited for it.
Indeed. Let's take a look at the roadmap and learn how these teams got to this point. Well, they started off in stage 1 of the open qualifiers, where everyone in Clash of Clans that signed up was able to compete. Then stage 2, that narrowed it down from 128 teams down to 6 who are playing this weekend. Yesterday was day 1, and today is day 2, where then we'll have a last chance qualifier to find the final teams to make it to the Clash of Clans World Championship later this month. So let's go ahead and learn more about today here at Zoo.
That is right. We're already on the second day of the 6-team double elimination bracket. And the first 2 seeded teams got actually a bye in their first round. Every single match is getting played in a 5 vs 5 clan war, where each player has only 1 attack. The first place, which we're going to give away today, is the golden ticket. The second place is going to be the silver ticket, which means your team is going to be able to play in the last chance qualifier. But those tickets are not the only prizes on the line. There is more, Eric.
Absolutely. $18,000 going to the first place prize, and I guess it goes all the way down to $6,500 for the team that gets knocked out first today. But the teams that walked away already got $5,000. But it doesn't even stop there, because if you get to the World Championship, you're playing for $1 million prize pool. So that is what they're going for. That is the reason they want that golden ticket, so they can go play for the biggest money on the biggest stage. So let's take a look at the bracket here, Woody.
Oh, hell yeah. We're going to start down in the lower bracket. Round 2 has got Savage Elite versus HTM Esports. This lower bracket round is a final opportunity for both of these teams to stay alive. One more loss down there, and they are going to be kicked out. We've got our reigning champs, Savage Elite, going up in a rematch against HTM Esports, which defeated them yesterday. Meanwhile, on the upper bracket, the upper semis has got VM Legacy and Dizzy Esports, both still undefeated, only needing 2 more wins to make it all the way to the golden ticket.
Yeah, these teams have been fighting throughout this month to get to this point, and we'll be giving away that golden ticket and, of course, a silver ticket to second place. And if you're in the upper bracket, you just have to win 1 match to guarantee a ticket. You win 2, and you get that golden ticket. So much is on the line, and let's learn exactly what our predictions are here for today. And across the board, wow, it is very similar. I'm the only one, again, going with HTM here. And with this match number 7, this is a elimination match, which means that whoever loses is gone and out of the tournament for this month. But of course, you can come back next month, but you don't want to do that. You want to be getting the golden ticket and securing your chance in the Clash of Clans World Finals later this month. But Itsu, what's your thought on these matches to come here?
Yeah, I feel like with match 8, we're already on the same page, right? Like VM Esports did show, VM Legacy did show some incredible bases, offense, everything. So I feel like it is not an easy pick, but it's the favorite pick. But with the first match, the match number 7, you are going with HTM, which I can totally see they were coming in clutch when it matters, and were able to take down some incredible teams. But on the other side, with the Savage Elite, well, we have the world's champion, right? Like, we cannot go against them. At least that was my thought process going into that match. And I feel like, Eric, you went with the same approach, right?
Yeah, well, we already saw, like what he said, HTM and Savage Elite already played in the first round of the tournament. So they already faced off, but then Savage Elite had the 1 star that ultimately set them back. But I feel like outside of the 1 star, that one was able to convert, which was very, very close to a triple as well. Then I think the Savage Elite would have actually won that match. And I think that they can reinforce that small weakness, and I think that they can take that win and go on to defend their title.
Yeah, so many of these matches have come down to a time tiebreaker, and Savage Esports does have very quick attacks. They had one little slip up that left a 2-star deficit, the biggest gap that we saw yesterday, but it was just one single attack, and it was just 3 buildings that remained on the map. Still an incredibly close match, and I actually think Savage Esports is a squad. This Brazilian team has been competing for so long. They've been in these sort of rematch situations before. They've gone up against the same foes time and again. They don't get scared. They don't get rattled when they lose a match. They just come back with even more vigor and ferocity. HTM Esports, for their side, has lost to VM Legacy as well. So each team has got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and it's going to be looking to try to rebuild that momentum that they've been working on for weeks now to get to this point. Remember that they had to crush so many other teams through rounds 1 and 2 in the previous stages to get to where they are right now. They know a lot is riding on this, and in those high pressure moments, I think Savage Elite has got a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because we are getting ready for this next match between HTM Esports and Savage Elite. The very first match here today, as we can have up to 5 if there is a bracket reset. So we're going to have to see. That's what happened last year. But Itsu, this is a very strong lineup here.
It is for sure, and all of those names are familiar for those viewers who are already watching the esports scene of Clash of Clans for quite some time. It's like a lineup of legends inside the esports community and veterans to the game, and they're really showcasing that with their performance in this tournament, bringing dragons, bringing the root riders as well, but especially the dragons with great success. And as we're seeing some of their highlight attacks from yesterday, even with a Lalo attack in there as well. So even with the current meta, they're bringing quite some variety to the match. And Savage Elite on the other side, they're no stranger to different strategies either, Eric.
Yeah, well, HTM has definitely claimed a lot of big tournament titles. The World Championship title is being held right now by Savage Elite, with 4 of their 5 original members that played and won the World Championship out in Finland last year under the name Clash Champs. Now they play under the new banner there, Savage Elite. We'll see what they can do for us, but this is a monster team here, and they've adapted to this meta very, very well. They've been improvising with some new interesting strategies as well. We've seen a lot of giant arrow, a lot of dragons. They're thinking outside of the box, and I like that. I like that about a team, the adaptability to be able to run the most meta attacks there, which are mainly the root riders right now, but be able to adjust and be able to go into the back end of the board there and improvise onto the bases that might be a little bit more difficult and resistant to the root riders is a very, very important skill to have, and I think that they definitely have what it takes.
And they've got the mindset of champions. We interviewed them before this weekend began, and we asked Savage Elite, what was one of your favorite moments in Clash of Clans history? And you can't be too surprised when they say, well, it was when we won World Championships last year. But you know what? The answer was the same on the other side of the map as well. We asked Mohamed Morawi what was one of his favorite moments in watching Clash of Clans esports, and he said it was seeing a strong team like Clash Champs win Worlds. So that is going to be a big psychological difference between these two teams. One squad knowing that they have done it not just in a qualifier before, but on the main stage of the World Finals competition up against a team that's in a qualifier, doing very well, has knocked down Savage Elite before, but you have to win so many wars to get to the very top like that, and it's just hard to say that Savage Elite have lost any luster. They seem very, very strong still, and even if they can slip up a time or two, I think that the probabilities are still in their favor.
Yeah, well, it is time to get ready for the very first match of day 2. So Itsu and I are going to take a seat. Eric and Woody, best of luck casting this one here.
Absolutely, and it is always interesting when we have a split decision on the predictions like that, because it just goes to show how close that we all think that these matches are going to be. I think if you took these same 2 teams and you paired against them multiple times, like you played 10 matches, I feel like you'd be seeing about a 50-50 split, maybe a 60-40 split. But let's get into this, guys. It is time to kick off this match and eliminate one of these teams, HTM versus Savage Elite. Nick is getting ready. One of the most winningest players in all of Clash of Clans esports in North America. But he'll be taking on Bernal, the newest addition to Savage Elite, a seasoned player of his own right there, but the only person who was not on the original roster for Savage Elite when they won the most recent World Championship, Woody.
Like I said yesterday, Eric, selfishly speaking, I hope that HTM Esports shows up. I hope they do really well, you know, and as one of the only American teams with 3 out of their 5 roster players coming from the United States of America, this is an unusual appearance for North America to be competing in the same level as European and Asian teams have been for so long. So we'll see now if this is going to be Nick's year with HTM Esports to get a golden ticket. He's only got to win 3 more wars and they'll have it. He's starting off with the dragons, mass dragons spread all across. Does catch tornado trap, Lamp does make it all the way to the town hall. Clone as well is going to knock that thing down for the first star, but it's a little bit of an awkward spread, I'd say, with the dragons. Grant Warden is going all the way to the top with a huge army of dragons that is just crushing the top side, but the middle side of this base is really going to need some more help. Gets a free spell to shut down the sweeper, and those dragons should survive a bit longer, but what are you given in terms of the odds of finishing fast here?
I think he needs to, first of all, make sure that he can get these ricochet cannons down. Otherwise, they're going to cause a lot of problems for the road champion. Remember, ricochet cannons bounce off the road champion and then hit the Spirit Fox and can ultimately remove a lot of her inherent protection. But he'll start her away from them, try to keep his distance as she starts in for the far left there, goes right into the defensive king, pops her ability early, and go after the air defense. Let the dragons handle the ricochet cannons. Let her go after these expos that are picking off the king and the queen and get into these air defenses, and he'll make his way back into the core of the base there, gets the last ricochet cannon down, multi-inferno drops, and it is going to lock in at 1:26. That is a respectable time and a nice way to open up the war.
Yeah, very solid. Our winning teams from yesterday typically had average attack times in the 1:20 to 1:30 range. A 1:26 strike from Nick is nothing to be too terrified of if you're on the Savage Elite side, but it's a very respectable start for HTM Esports, knowing that they've got a reliable 3-star already on the board. Let's switch back over to Pato now. He's going to be going up against Ghost. Pato going to be striking first, knows he's got that 1:26 attack time to try to beat. Of course, getting the 3 stars on top of that. So many of the attacks yesterday were triples. We saw in the first 5 wars that it was a 94% hit rate across the board from all of the teams that are attacking, and only one single 1-star. Pato knows that there's no room for error here, and he has to get this deploy just right.
He does make a small mistake there with the giant arrow. Doesn't hit the air defense at the very bottom corner of the base. They're slightly off on the angle right there as he aims a little bit too high. But Pato is also going to be out for redemption on this one here, as he was the one who had the 1-star in the previous war that made so that HTM won in the upper bracket and knocked Savage Elite down here, and why they're in the position that they're in right now. So he'll be working his way forward here with the dragons, go to the core of the base there, but the overgrowth will push them back out. Leaves the ricochet cannons to make sure that the dragons can take those out there. They're not a threat to the dragons at all. They can't even hit the air troops, so he'll just walk away from them and join on either side of the overgrowth there, wrap it around, taking the Eagle Artillery at the very end of the attack here. But a couple traps going off here, but the main force is looking very, very strong. But we have to make sure we have the force to go back into the town hall as we go in with a double sweeper, and we have only 3 freezes, and he's starting to burn them right now as a couple dragons make their way back to the area, but he's got to have the force to get back into it.
Overgrowth like a souped up free spell. The new spell added for Town Hall 16 combat this year has got a lot of fans out there. It does allow you to shut down a core and then swoop back in for the final kill shot at the end, but Pato does know he's got to be careful dropping those. Last time when he did that, he found 2 stone slammers scatter shots still firing back at his troops. That's what left him with the 1-star, but no similar end today. He has crushed it this time with a 1:27 attack. It was just 1 second slower than Nick's hit. That leaves HTM Esports with the smallest possible lead of just 1 second to finish from that last round. But Pato's got to be happy and can hold his head high knowing that he's done a good start for Savage Elite. We're going back to Mohammed Marawi now from HTM Esports for the second attack, Eric.
It is nice to see that Pato was able to not let the 1-star that was playing out very similar to what he just did there. He didn't let that shake his confidence. He still is willing to take the most optimal approach there and end on the town hall. Like, literally, the town hall was the last building to go down there. So he's willing to take that risk, and he has the confidence to take that risk and know that it'll ultimately pay off for him. And I like that. I like that willingness to risk it all to make sure that they can get the best time possible. And to keep that under a minute and a half there is competitive. But like you said, it is going to be a small time advantage. 1 second split there over for HTM Esports as Mohamed Marawi is getting ready to go. And Mohamed Marawi is the only player in this match right now that is still sitting at a 100% hit rate. Remember, they played through, what was it, 30 wars in the open ladder, and then they had to play through the double elimination bracket as well to be able to reach this stage here. And so thousands of teams entered into the competition. We're down to 4, and he's still sitting at a 100% hit rate. So definitely a testament to how skilled of a player he is.
Now, for anyone who is just learning about Clash of Clans Esports, you get that first star by destroying either the Town Hall or getting 50% damage done to a base. But it's all 3 stars that these players are really looking for, and you have to destroy the entire base to get that. But even now, at the highest level of Clash of Clans Esports, that is not enough. There are enough wars that finish with a 15-15 tie, where all 5 players on both teams get 3 stars. When that happens, we send it to a tiebreaker by looking at the amount of time that they spent on their attacks, and the faster attacks are preferred. The team with the lower average destruction time is going to be the winner, because HTM Esports has scored 2 perfect wars so far. Same with Savage Elite on the other side. They know that perfect wars are possible and are just right on the cusp of achievement. They want to make sure that not only they score all the stars that they possibly can, but especially in the early attacks of this war when neither team have yet missed, they know that speed is the #1 most important thing to be going for here after total stars claim. So King diving in here for Mohamed Marawi will get a connection onto the Town Hall. Phoenix picks him back up for a little bit longer, and he's going to be kicking the hell out of that thing, trying to get that Town Hall down. No, he's going to actually overgrowth it. The Town Hall will stand, Eric.
Yeah, all right. Well, he had a lot of Root Riders stacked on top of it, so I can see why he decided to make that decision. That felt like it was a last-minute change right there, as he probably expected the Root Riders to stay further to the right. And if the King was able to get the Town Hall down fast enough, then it would have been fine. But as soon as he stacked on top of it, we don't want to take the blast and the poison and weaken our Root Riders. But he does get the healer spawn there from the healer puppet onto the Queen. He does get her to follow through, but she's going to be sitting right in the kill box right there as the Overgrowth wears back off. He's going to end up freezing the Town Hall, trying to give himself some relief right there as he makes his way with the right side group into the Monolith. He's under a lot of fire right now, but the Town Hall is got a P.E.K.K.A on it, and the P.E.K.K.A takes the last right there. Barely gets it down there, and that would have potentially been trouble there, but I think the Road Champion would have had it eventually, but that going down the time that it does end up giving another attack at exactly 1 minute and 26 seconds. 2 exactly at that. Nope, just kidding. 1 minute 27. I guess we'll see what the average shows on the board. But yeah, it's everybody played at the exact same level right now, which is really interesting.
A fascinating finish from Mohamed Marawi. That P.E.K.K.A slash at the very end, taking the Town Hall down, might have saved him a few more seconds from having to wait for the Root Riders to get all the way over there. P.E.K.K.A did not have very many hit points left, and so you can see just how razor thin the margin of victory is there when you get just a few more seconds saved off thanks to a few more hit points that is left on a big attacking troop like a P.E.K.K.A. You can really be happy about how things finished off. So let's go back to Leo now. Savage Elite know that they need a 1 minute and 26 second strike in order to tie it up against HTM Esports. They gotta go faster than that if they want to do even better. Nice giant arrow cuts right through the core of the base like a hot knife through butter. Archer Queen on the right corner is gonna get plenty of healers to keep her topped off and safe alongside that unicorn. There's not many threats along the bottom side of the space, just the enemy Archer Queen. He's holding on to a Headhunter to go snipe her down, and Leo is just hitting this thing from all different angles. The Siege Barracks on the top has got a couple of P.E.K.K.A coming out. Root Riders from the top corner now. He is wasting no time at all. Watch those fingers fly, Eric.
Yeah, I like the extra addition of the Earthquake in the middle of the base there to just finish off a couple of little buildings there, damage at the Town Hall. You notice that there's no battle builders close enough to be able to repair the Town Hall, so any damage that was hit onto it from the giant arrow is sustained. But attacking every side of the base there at the same time is going to make so that the attack speed is faster, but it makes so that if any individual section fails, then he has to go back for it. Splitting up his troops there significantly, but we got to get back to the Town Hall now. We got the World Champion popping the Hog Puppet. The Hogs and her step in, they take it down, but now the heaviest part of the base here down with the Tesla Farm farm, and this monolith is going to be not a problem for him, I don't think. I think he's got it under control. Everything seems to be moving smooth. He's got a big swarm of Root Riders stepping in. His Grand Warden is still alive, even though all the rest of the heroes have gone down, but that should be more than enough force to be able to go in there. He's got the Pekkas from the Siege Barracks. He's got the Super Minions that popped out later out of the Siege Barracks, and he will overwhelm it. And once again,
Nice.
it's a 1 minute and 26-second attack. Okay, well, yeah, I think they like that time. No, it was 1 minute 24. You're right.
attack.
It was faster. You're right. Okay, so they have a slight time advantage then.
That is a 2-second advantage for Savage Elite now against HTM Esports. And you know, Eric, I saw a question in chat about why players are using the giant arrow with the Archer Queen. I think that there's a pretty standard answer that you can just say it gets a reliable strike through the base. You know pretty much exactly where it's going to hit. But I have another theory also that it's a very time efficient piece of equipment because it does a set amount of damage. You know exactly where it's going to hit. It reduces the number of guesswork the amount of guesswork that you have to do on a base.
Well, there's other reasons as well, Woody. You also get the funnel set out of it because it ends up taking out a couple buildings that are right near the entry, so she can quickly establish a funnel to get the Root Riders to path where they need to go early in attack. But on top of that, when they pair it with the healer puppet, if you're going to line it up at the very start there and take a shot with a giant arrow, then you ultimately make so that the healers spawn early. Like this one here has a healer puppet of the queen, but the healer puppet won't spawn until after she wants to use the invisibility vial, so it doesn't get the early use out of the healers as she works on the flank. But this one does have the overgrowth locking out the middle of the base there, and the super minions unfortunately not go to the artillery, stuck on the lava hound up there, but the P.E.K.K.A handles it, and he's overall doing pretty good here.
Hard and fast is the name of the game. Ghost does lose a P.E.K.K.A to the single target Inferno up on the top side, and that could be a tricky defense to have to handle at the end of this attack. Looks like it's going to force the Royal Champion's ability to get popped out there, but not too much of a problem, especially because she's got that haste vial ready to jump back into the action. Another single target Inferno up on the top will burn her up though, and Ghost is kind of running a little bit late on the cleanup, but you know what? The start for this attack was so freaking fast. It's going to be done in 1 minute and 21.
Very good.
That's the fastest attack so far for this war, and should put HTM Esports back in the lead. Yeah, they now have an average time of 1:24, Eric.
Yeah, just slowly moving forward here. Like if those first couple attacks, they're all landed at the same time. But now everybody seems to be picking up the pace a little bit there. So they got to move fast. You got to move fast. You got to make sure that you don't have any part of the base there unaccounted for. Any weaknesses where you under deploy or over deploy into a certain area is either wasted resources or it is going to leave a section of the base there that is going to have to be made up for later on by going back into that area or looping back around. But there we go, giant arrow, and we see that a lot. We see the giant arrow used with the Root Riders a lot by Savage Elite. They like to use the giant arrow to form the funnel like on this one here, where look at, with a couple buildings removed right next to where the queen is deploying and on the right hand corner of the base, now the Root Riders have a lane created. We instantly form a funnel, and when you're going for speed, be able to instantly form a funnel and then immediately start deploying your main force is an incredibly powerful thing that makes so that their average attack times stay much lower. I don't know if it's the most optimal thing overall. I'm sure there's different ways that you can take your time if you're just playing and time doesn't matter. But when you're playing in this competitive environment, time is so critical, and they have to do anything they can to be able to stay ahead whatever way they can.
Yeah, it's surprising that Root Riders are not just one of the strongest attacking forces in the game for getting 3 stars, but that they are also so quick. They stay up and they don't really you don't have to worry about any one particular defense. Multi-target Infernos burn up at a pretty wide spread, but they don't really stack up too badly most of the time for scatter shots. They do kind of have to worry a little bit about single target Infernos and the Monolith just because they are high hit point attackers, but there's so many of them that they can still swarm and overrun a base, crushing walls everywhere. It just makes them look like really super expensive decorations, basically. The heroes are just storming through the space, and Bernal is pumping his fists for another rapid, super fast attack. We have another quickest attack now at 1 minute and 18 seconds. He's gone even faster than Ghost and has put Savage Elite back in the lead once again with an average attack time of 1 minute and 23 seconds. This just keeps getting closer and closer as each attack gets quicker and quicker, Eric. But one team has got to give.
There was an interesting freeze at the end of that attack there, where he froze the sweeper, and I don't know if he was intentionally freezing the sweeper there to stop the knockback of his super minions to try to save time in the backside, or if he intended to drop a rage right there. It's really difficult to tell whether that was intentionally the placement for the freeze, and because he put a rage right on top of where the freeze was, like immediately after. So I have to wonder if he misclicked, but he actually ended up getting some value out of it, even if it was a misclick, as he froze the sweeper and stopped the knockback. However, now with a time only with a 1 second split, and that would be only a couple seconds overall for the 3 attacks. Well, 1 second on average in the favor of our defending world champions, as Pato now on defense is Rigo Torres going to go in with a Lalo. The first attack that is not the Root Riders there was dragons, just kidding. There were Root Riders and dragons. But he will go in with the Lalo, and this is a much more difficult strategy, but he likes to pair with the lightning. He's very good with that, and he's going to be looking to potentially put a blimp right through the sweeper here. So watch the sweeper in the core of the base there. That could potentially cause some problems.
Yeah, the upside to the Lalo is that you just get so much heavy damage from the balloons. The downside is that it's really a precision strike, and you've got to be very, very careful about the pathing here. You have to pretty much know exactly where all these troops are going to go.
Watch those Yetis. Those Yetis may not get to Town Hall. They're close. Okay, they got pulled in.
They're taking a lot of damage. The Town Hall's low, but it's not down yet. There it finally goes, Eric.
That was a little dangerous right there. He put that blimp, but he didn't put the blimp under the Eternal Tome. And so the balloons were under the Eternal Tome, but he missed the blimp, and so it ended up dropping a little bit early. I got worried there for a second that the Yetis weren't going to get close enough to the Town Hall to actually take it down. But he's lost a lot of troops here, Woody. He's got to get this Inferno down, and he's got to get so that the air targeting defenses are basically removed enough there that he can coast his way through the last couple of his troops here. But he's lost almost every single balloon. Gets the last one to go down. He takes the last defense with the crash damage. But that battle builder left at the base there is still going to work against him a bit. He's got the force, but he's lost so much that it's going to cost him a lot of time. He just needs to get that Phoenix to pick up the battle builder, and he should still be able to get the 3-star as long as he can win that fight. Ooh, that's going to be close. Come on, Phoenix. Move it. Yeah, okay. Phoenix got it. But it's a lot of time.
It's the Clash equivalent to stumbling at the finish line, though. You see that he crushed this base, and yet it's taken a long time to get the finishing structures cleaned up just because there's so few troops remaining, and all they really are just minions, pups, and Electro Owl, Phoenix. Like, pets and pups are not a way to clean up a base, Eric.
Yeah, that's a little rough there for Rigo Torres. That's going to put HTM at a potential disadvantage. But at least it's a 3-star. You know, like, at least it's a 3-star. I'd rather have a 2-star. I'd rather have a 3-star that goes all the way up to 2 minutes and 59 seconds and pushes the time limit than I'd rather have a 2-star. So, you know, we want to make sure that we get the triples on the board first and foremost, and they can... It's more likely that you get a defense than you end up getting somebody to push all the way up to the high time. So I guess we'll see what happens here as we see Loop now taking the return fire, as now they have the potential to be able to get a massive time advantage and put themselves into the lead by a bigger margin.
Big bump in time, though, and HTM Esports are going to be a little bit worried about whether that is going to be quick enough to hold against a Savage Elite squad that is ready to strike back. Savage Elite also is in the advantageous position of attacking last, so they know exactly what they're up against. If they see a 2-star fail from HTM, they know that they can go slower and go for the safe 3. Whereas if they see HTM speeding up and gaining time, they know that they have to push pedal to the metal. Loop from Savage Elite starting off strong in the top corner. Also has a Barbarian King that's hopped almost all the way to the core with a poison spell as well. He's going to be able to take out the CC troops that were coming out here. They do gum up the works a little bit and slow him down. That Witch, an interesting choice here on defense from HTM, slowing down a different way other than the Ice Golem. It is a good way to distract a hero like the Barbarian King, though, and with Overgrowth spell now, the Root Riders are going to have to loop around counterclockwise to try to get to the bottom side of the base before they'll be able to stab up at the Town Hall at the end. But he still holds on to a Rage and a Free Spell, Eric.
And he also has the Roach Hammer ability, so he'll pop it right there. He'll get the Hogs spawn there off of the Hog Puppet. Road Champion will search forward with the Haze File. He'll rage as he makes his way back over to the Town Hall, but the Road Champion moving very fast there will easily overpower that. She's got the force. He's got plenty of troops left there, and it is another triple. This one locking in a minute and 31 seconds, and that means as we begin our final exchange, we're looking at roughly a 30-second advantage for Savage Elite. They have a big lead here, but as we've already seen, one small mistake and that lead can be lost in an instant. What we need to see right now out of HTM is a fast triple to put some pressure on. They may just need to go just balls to the wall to go make sure that they get as fast as an attack as possible. We need to see them put the pressure onto Savage Elite here. That's going to be the most important thing.
Yeah, this is actually a really tricky spot for HTM Esports because they're almost so far behind on time that it really kind of is a question. Do you just go for a safe 3-star and hope for a 2-star defense? Or do you really just throw it all away right out the gate and try to get the fastest possible 3-star, hoping then that you get a slow defense like we saw against Rigo Torres? Agent 33 seems to be going quick and furious here now. He's charging in with a giant arrow that stabbed right from the top to the bottom corner of the base. Mass Dragons as well with an early Eternal Tome to keep them all safe and dealing out massive damage as quick as they possibly can. Takes down the Town Hall early with that blimp, and a Dragon Rider popping out of it as well will get a bit more damage done there. Agent 33 has got two sides to this attack. The main force along the bottom side is going to encounter the enemy Barbarian King, while an Overgrowth is going to protect the rest of the troops up top here.
Yeah, get the Overgrowth to lock it down there to minimize the damage in the area so he can wrap around it. He can work on all the trash. That gives him 30 seconds to work there with the Queen and the Dragons in that area to make sure that that area is not causing any problems. That's another, well, I guess 28 seconds technically, as he gets the Dragons to finish out the very bottom of the base there. Road Champion engages the defensive King. King with the, what is that, a Frosty and a Headhunter down there locks out the defensive King, keeps the Road Champion nice and safe, and now the Overgrowth wakes back up here. He's ready for it now. He didn't waste any time there while the Overgrowth was active, as he had plenty of other targets to go after, and now he surges back into it, and the attack time is fast on this one, looking very good. This is going to give him a chance here, Woody. This is going to give him exactly what they need, as this one does lock in at a minute and looks like 26 seconds. Another 1 minute and 26 second attack for HTM. And now the bar is set, but this is clearly within reach here for Savage Elite. If they can keep this attack under 2 minutes, they should be in a pretty good spot there. But if it comes up to that rough ballpark, then we'll just have to see what the final score says. But this is insanely close right now, and it's going to come down to Celinho, and he's fully within his capability to keep that under, but a small mistake could cost him a lot of time, and time could cost him the war. Pressure's on.
So it looks like we need an attack that's 1 minute and 55 seconds or quicker from Celinho in order to get the win. HTM do put a perfect war on the board, but up against Savage Elite, another squad that's done perfect plenty of times and with a shorter average attack time, that is going to be a massive gap that this defense has got to hold for a very long time against. He does get an early tornado trap to try to spin those attackers around and slow them down a bit. Celinho is not going to be phased by this at all, though. Drops a rage spell, which is only going to get maybe half of the Root Riders now. A little bit of an awkward fanning out here, but still nothing too much to worry about. Ice Golems from the CC are going to engage some of the Root Riders here and try to slow things down over on the top left side. Celinho's force is now pretty much singular on the bottom central side of this base. Overgrowth is out, and he's going to continue to loop, but it's looking a little bit dicey here, Eric.
And he's got the weird split from the Root Riders. They couldn't decide which way they wanted to go around the Overgrowth. He's got one out in front of the King and the Queen. He's got a big pack that ended up going with the Road Champion going north, which is honestly a good split right now. He just needs to use these last remaining Super Barbarians in nice spots on the backside there, picking off the defenses directly. No spring traps being found there, as those buildings are touching the edge of the base. There's no room for spring traps even, so he knows that he's safe to drop into those positions, but he's got to make his way back to the Town Hall, and this is the moment of truth right now as we approach the minute and a half mark, but he's got to get through the Town Hall. He's walking away from it a little bit there, but he does go back to it now. More Super Barbarians in the Tesla farm. Town Hall dropped it. Royal Champion pushing through, and Celinho will get Savage Elite to the next round here as they eliminate HTM Esports and win on the double perfect war by 4 seconds on average attack time.
wipe away the sweat. What a razor close finish. We've seen a couple of perfect wars before, and Savage Elite have taken another one off of HTM Esports now. The revenge is so sweet for them as they advance now to the lower bracket finals and have guaranteed at least third place. Commiserations to HTM Esports, finishing 4th in the May monthly finals. They are now eliminated, while Savage Esports has to wait in the wings to face off against whoever loses in the next match between Dizzy Esports and VM Legacy.
Well, HTM is not going to be walking away empty-handed, though. They at least get the 4th place prize, which will be $6,500. But the rest of the teams, the remaining 3, will continue to play on for the $18,000 first place prize, and they're still alive for the golden ticket as well. So this is, the Savage Elite wants to get back into the World Championship to go defend their golden ticket, and they've been fighting hard. They fought hard in last month's qualifier. They are fighting hard through the lower bracket here, and it would be interesting if they have a very similar run to what we saw when Synchronic qualified to the World Championship last month. Remember, they were knocked down to the lower bracket in the very first round, just like we saw out of Savage Elite, and then we potentially could see a repeat of that if they can just keep this run going. They're playing well. They need to potentially speed up a little bit there. I feel like the VM Legacy and DZ Esports are both playing a little bit faster than Savage Elite is right now, and so that's what they're up against as they look their way forward. But now we got to get ready for our upper bracket finals there as we get ready for DZ to take on VM Legacy and send an opponent down to face off with Savage Elite in that lower bracket. So this is going to be an interesting set of matches here, but one of these teams is going to come out on top, and today Savage Elite is able to take the win, and they will eliminate HTM Esports
by a relatively fair margin. I mean, look at the times here. They're pretty tight throughout, but solidly 3 attackers from Savage Elite putting up quicker hits than the opponents on the other side. It was really, unfortunately, just Rigo Torres with a bit of a slow hit that kind of threw a wrench in HTM Esports' plans. Bernal NTC has been chosen as the most valuable player from Savage Elite from that last war, a 31% vote from the audience. Half of the audience chose either Bernal or Celino, who earned 21%, and Loop earns a respectable 11% of the vote there. But the next match that we're going to see, Eric, is going to be a ticket match. The top 2 teams remaining in the upper bracket, whichever team wins the next one will be guaranteed to have a ticket. Now, whether that's going to be a silver ticket or a golden ticket will yet to be seen. But now that we've got all 4 of the casters back on the stage, let me send it over to Carbon and hear what you thought about that last one.
Well, it looks like I was the only one to be wrong in...
Can't quite hear you, net Carbon.
Yeah, you're muted, Carbon.
Oh, you can't hear me. Hold on, I'll fix it. There we go.
Oh, you're still muted.
Go to Itsu first.
Oh, there we go. Now we got it. There we go. Hey, there we go, Carbon.
Well, what I was gonna say, so you guys could hear me, was the fact that my prediction was the only one that was wrong. So you guys were all right across the board with Savage Elite getting the victory and keeping their hopes alive to try to make it back to the World Championship. But still, they have to make it through the bottom lower bracket, and then they have to force a bracket reset. So let's bring up the predictions here, and while we do, I guess Itsu, what was your thoughts on the last time match?
Well, I think Eric already summarized this match really well before it even happened, because he said that it feels like that HTM is attacking slower than Savage Elite, so as long as Savage Elite is not failing, like not getting a non-3 star, they're good to go. Exactly that happened. They were on average faster, and that was exactly how this match ended, with Savage Elite then getting that victory on time. And well, with that next match then around the corner, we are all the same opinion. Like VM Legacy so far looked really strong in the matches, and offense, defense looked really solid for them, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. VM Legacy was by a lot of the teams called out as one of their most feared teams to go against in this competition. So no surprises there, but let's take a look at the bracket here and see exactly where we stand in the overall theme of things. We have VM Legacy versus DZ Esports in the upper bracket. Remember, like we've been saying, if they win this match here, they're guaranteed at least a silver ticket. They would advance to the grand finals, which means they're automatically into the top 2, and that would get so that they would be 1 win away from getting a golden ticket. And you want to get there through the upper bracket. I think that this match right here is the most important, other than the one that actually awards the golden ticket. You know, like if you get through this round here and get to the finals, then you not only get the silver ticket, but you have 2 lives remaining in this double elimination bracket. And that means that whoever emerges out of the lower bracket has to beat you twice. And I think if you have the skill to get there, most likely you have the skill to win at least one of those 2 matches and get the golden ticket.
Well, this is turning out to be an extremely close match. We know that VM Legacy does have all 4 of the caster predictions, but I gotta say, I think that belies how tight this one really is. Dizzy, although they weren't one of the top seeded teams, so they have had to have 2 battles so far, they won a tiebreaker on time against early attacks, so they certainly don't have slow attacks, and they even managed to prevent a 3-star against Milliceme MG in their first match. So they've got really solid defenses, and when it comes down to tiebreakers, they are not slow strikers. VM Legacy, we've only seen 1 war for them so far on the main stage because they started out in the 2nd seeded position. They only had to defeat HTM Esports to get to this spot. Maybe they're a little bit less tested. Maybe they, are holding their strategies a little bit closer to the chest. I think that creates a good bit of mystique around them, though, and it's one of the reasons why the casters up here on the stage at least have chosen VM Legacy to take the win here. They just seem so strong because they're so difficult to get a read on, whereas we've seen a couple of wars already from Dizzy Esports performing well, but hard to say that it's at a caliber that can stop VM Legacy, Marvin.
Yeah, look at these hit rates. Insane. We are seeing from Darkstar, Fluxy, Cynthia, Max, and Ninja. They are ready. They are looking to continue their run through the upper bracket, coming in as the number 2 seed, where early attacks was actually eliminated. They were the number 1 seed. They were eliminated yesterday. But now, 1 win away from guaranteeing yourself at least a silver ticket. So much on the line so that you can compete in the last chance qualifiers if you don't get that golden ticket. Because last month, what happened? The team that came from the upper bracket fortunately was not able to get that golden ticket because they were defeated by Synchronic in a bracket reset, which is definitely plausible. These teams are so good and anything can happen. All it takes is your hero going the wrong way and it can cost you 20, 25 seconds because they have to loop back around. You never know. So I'm ready to see who is going to be able to take this match between Dizzy Esports and VM Legacy.
Yeah, and let's take a look at what the community thinks. And, well, it's a little bit in favor of VM Legacy. Not much, but I feel like this is just the tiny bit which is really represented in the consistency they had and just showcased in their stats. I mean, they're just really incredible. They have 3 attackers which are insanely fast, and then they have 2 attackers which are really safe and typically attack later in the match. And can still adapt with like different strategies and things like that. So I feel like they're really well rounded, and this makes them such a scary team to face. At least that's how it feels like.
All right, well, it's time to get into this, guys. This is our upper bracket finals. We will set a team to the grand finals with this one. So me and Woody are stepping out. Good luck to Carbon and Itsu. Good luck with the teams, and we'll see you guys soon. But me and Woody are stepping out.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys very soon. Itsu, we are now ready for the upper bracket match between Dizzy Esports and VM Legacy. The winner going to the grand finals and guaranteeing them spot a silver ticket. But that's not what they want. They want that golden ticket. They'll have a huge advantage if they make it to the grand finals from the upper bracket, like we've talked about, because you only have to win 1. If you get knocked down, you gotta win 2. You gotta force that bracket reset, as we're looking to see Dizzy Esports lead it off to take on Darkstar Space.
Yeah, they're attacking first, and they want to have a really good first impression with hopefully 3-star and a quick time versus the base of Darkstar. And, well, it's going to be Root Riders. That is no big surprise. They have used yesterday as well a little bit of like multiple overgrowth spell together, which they used then later into the match when time was not the biggest deciding factor anymore. But this base looks really interesting because it gives a ton of value to the overgrowth spell in the core. But maybe that's exactly what is intended from VM Legacy, and maybe that's somehow baited.
We'll have to see, as a jump is going to be utilized for this king to go right into the core of the base. And look at the spell towers, rage and poison right in the middle. No invis, which we've seen several bases being used. Actually not too many double invises here today or even this weekend like we did see last month, which can cause some issues for Root Riders. But we're seeing skeleton spells out in front near that monolith as the king can burn his ability to be able to now get so much splash value.
Oh my lord, that's a lot of splash damage right there. Instead, using the overgrowth on the entire core, he's only clipping a couple of the core buildings, while the queen and that king are taking down that entire, those entire key defenses, where the Root Riders then are going to finish off strong on that town hall. Take a look at that. He is still looking good on time. Only 60 seconds have passed. Or is this maybe not as quick, because there's still some buildings left standing.
Yeah, with a queen ability, though, using that now, finding some traps, but that's totally okay. These healers don't even need them at this point because of how many troops he still has up. And the town hall looks to be like the last building. Oh, second to last building, is there's one building that he forgot at the bottom of the base. And look at that. That's going to cost him a handful of seconds with now finishing. Oh, that could have been like a 7-8 second differential right there. We'll have to see if that plays a role towards the end of this match.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that, I don't know if they are not on voice or if they're not talking to each other, but that is for sure the job of the caller or like of the spotter to somehow call this out. Like, hey, you have still super barbarians which you use for the back end. Invest just one of them, or an archer or a wizard or something on that one building left over. And I mean, that's the whole purpose of having a spotter, and apparently either he did not have one or he did not pay attention. But that really costs you. Like 5 seconds can be quite a big difference, or you said it, even like 7-8 seconds. But we have the next attacker, Darkstar, who is having the fastest average time in this competition as a player, which is incredible, with 1 minute and 15 seconds. That would be an incredible start into this match for him. But is he going to be able to reproduce that now versus those top bases of Dizzy Esports?
Looking to try to maybe beat his world record, which was 47 seconds. I mean, that was not in the Clash of Clans World Championship run, but it was in different esports. But still, to think that we can even get close to that. Yesterday, we saw Temper coming in with a 51-second attack that came in with E-Dragon. So definitely it is plausible. And if there's anyone that could do it, Darkstar could be the person.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we know he's an excellent Lalo player. He is really good with that strategy. But he has now as well switched over to the Root Riders in those matches where it comes down to time. And he is really, really good with those troops now as well, understanding how he has to use them, how to really make sure that you're getting the last milliseconds out of your attack, which I feel like sometimes can be a big, big factor, especially early into the match. I feel like you never underestimate the pressure you can put on the other team when just having some quick attacks early on. And we have seen many teams then on the other side really falling short with trying to become faster and faster and faster. And that is then really backfiring. So Darkstar is in with his Root Riders using the classic equipment of the heroes. And he's good to a quick start, but he's catching a couple of spring traps early on.
Yeah, those spring traps are mainly there kind of launching the Valkyries as they do go straight towards the monolith, and the king gonna utilize this jump spell in towards the defensive queen, as there is the overgrowth now onto the town hall and the backside defenses as he continues to rage up the Root Riders. Gonna have to deal with these Rakaloons and Ice Combs that now just got lured out of the clan castle.
That's right, getting looted out, taken care of as well. And we have those P.E.K.K.A now clearing out those bottom exports while the Hog Riders are taking care of the entire far right side. A lot of troops now overwhelming the back end, the multi-inflammatory compartment, and have to finish on their town hall. Nice freeze to make sure that the rage tower is not triggering. But can he turn around quick enough? And so far, though, it looks really good, Carbon. 1 minute and 10 seconds, it seems like. The Town of Poison will delay things a little bit, so it's going to be like 1 minute 11, 1 minute 12. It's going to be faster than his average. And this, 1 minute 11, and this is putting a lot of pressure now on Dizzy Esports. And this is why you want to have your fast attackers going early, attacking early, because this can be a huge momentum shift in those matches.
That was a fantastic attack, especially with time. 1 minute 11. You just can see the small details that a player like Darkstar does of dropping the troops around, and that plays a big role on saving you 10, 15, 20 seconds in your attack, which at the end will play a critical role in helping your team try to advance. As we're getting ready for the next attack that's going to come in for Dizzy Esports, can they answer? Because their previous attack of a minute 29 is going to be a little bit too high and far away from what Darkstar just did.
Yeah, they need to make sure that they're now not feeling too much under pressure, just keep playing their style. Their attacking skills have gotten them to this stage. They have gotten twice 15 stars back to back in this double elimination bracket, which is still in this current meta super impressive with the time they're putting to the table as well. So I feel like, don't feel pressured, concentrate on your own attacks, concentrate on what you can change currently, which are your own attacks, and just keep doing what you're doing, because it is really, really working for them so far.
Yeah, and one thing we're not seeing here right now is the double invises like we did see in last month. Is there any reason why you think we might not be seeing these bases anymore?
I feel like the double invisible towers are kind of by now overused, which means a lot of people have those counters for them. And this is why currently, at least in esports, they're not getting used that much. In Legends, they're still working. I mean, I'm using one of those bases and like pushed from, I don't know, like 5,000 trophies from doing my ore attacks to like 5,900 in like 4 days or something, because people do not know how to attack them still in Legends. But in esports, they know how to counter them. Use those lock launcher or the approach of Synchronic with the Yeti dives into the core with the lock launcher as well. We have seen from Bernal crazy approaches with like having a Royal Champion Warden dive into the core. All of those attacks can work, and I feel like by now those bases are not having this surprise factor anymore in esports. So this is why we don't see them today. Back to classic core town hall, poison or rage towers, and try to somehow slow attacks down as much as possible.
Yeah, it's really always interesting to see as the meta is shifting and evolving. But now we're seeing again with the Root Riders and Valkyries. I'm going to be just keep my eye on Poison and another Poison spelt out right in the core with that centralized town hall, as we're going straight away with those Roots and Velks to the right side with that Warden, while the jump is placed right on the outside, kind of help to get that King and Queen in towards the Eagle. But Super Minions, at least one of them did come out of the defending CC.
Yeah, there are some super minions indeed, but I think the Warden effect was still active, and the King was taking nicely as well with this Rage. Now covering the Single Tower, the troops are pushing into that monolith quickly. He has to freeze it still because it deals a lot of damage, but we have the half of the base already taken care of, while the Queen is slowly circling around, but she cannot reach that merged cannon there, which is really important. But the Queen with the jump spell walking back and now can take it down.
Yeah, Ricochet Cannon going down as he does invest that freeze and the rage right into the core. And that Royal Champion, it can help take out the Town Hall with that King's assistance right there. And down this is going. Definitely going to be help aiding in the time. And he's waiting quite a bit of time there through that final storage. And there you go. What an attack here coming in from Kai, getting a 3-star here with those Root Riders and the Valkyries. And it is lowering the time. They were at a minute 29 down to about a minute 21 with a minute 14 attack. Granted, it wasn't as quick as Darkstar. It was only a 3-second differential of Darkstar being at 1 minute 11. So pretty similar, but It all takes those small little details that cost you a few seconds in the end.
Yeah, we saw already earlier, like VM Legacy still have some attackers who are not as quick typically. So yeah, for DZ Esports, everything is still fine. As I said earlier, they're doing, or they should keep doing what they're doing. They're just so good at it with the time as well. They have beaten already teams in this competition on a tiebreaker on time. And now though, it's back to VM Legacy again. And I guess that was just set in one of their other really fast attackers in early to try to put up this pressure. Now it's up to then DZ Esports, like with this back and forth of the pressure game of maybe doing a mistake. And even if that mistake is not costing them a star, it could be with like the first attack which they had with the one building not really seen by the spotter, and that could cost them already some seconds.
Yeah, it could cost them in the end, but you have to focus on your attacks to come. If you've already done the hit, now you got to help potentially spot or help plan those final attacks. There's a lot of pressure on the line. This is an upper bracket match, so if you're just joining, this is match number 2 here today. If one of these teams wins, well, obviously one will, they will be going to the grand finals and guaranteeing themselves a spot for a silver ticket. But they don't want that. They want the golden ticket. If you lose, you will get sent to the lower bracket to have to take on Savage Elite, who, if you don't know, are recently signed, and they were the last year's Clash Champs, won the World Championship. So we're gonna have to see what team can able to make their way through, as we are indeed take a look at that bracket of where we currently stand. And yes, lots on the line. Only 3 teams remain, and one of them will be getting a golden ticket, as Max is up here for VM Legacy next.
Yeah, and he is the person with the 100% hit rate. I mean, we all know that the current meta is not the hardest for the pros, but having a 100% hit rate, not failing once, is still super impressive. And Max is doing that with a really quick time as well. So I'm looking forward to how he can influence the outcome of this match. He's going with the Root Riders, bringing quite a few of those Super Barbarians as well to speed things up even further. And is bringing the jump spell as well, which has been such a game changer for those pros to speed attacks up quite a bit, because they can separate the king and get a lot of value with him.
Yeah, it's that giant gauntlet. It is incredibly strong, and you don't see any pro not using it. If you don't use it, you are at a disadvantage in these matches, as we are seeing Root Riders coming straight in towards the core to go towards that town hall, as the Siege Barracks has already been deployed to the top side, and that Royal Champion, she's already running her way towards the monolith.
Yeah, but the skeleton spell really nicely distracting that monolith. That is always the big thing, right? Like, there's always those huge defenses, and they're getting countered by a really small skeleton spell and kind of no damage whatsoever anymore. So really nicely done to take advantage of no multi-frontier or multi-targeting defenses around that building. And then we have the Queen slowly approaching that bottom side, taking down all of those buildings with rage for the troops as the overgrowth is running out.
Yeah, look at the town hall remaining, and he is liking this attack. It's going to be going down, saving it towards the end, and Max delivering a 3-star for VM Legacy and putting them at a minute at 11 total, with his attack being at a minute 12. Man, VM Legacy is looking fantastic so far here in this match, having one of the fastest average attack times in this whole tournament here this weekend.
Yeah, Max and as well Darkstar as an opener, or like as 2 opener attackers, that is just like the perfect dream for a team currently. Like, they're just so good and consistent with their attacks. That is just super impressive. And I mean, it's not getting worse at this point when it comes down to the remaining players, right? Like, it's not, oh, okay, we finally have defended or like have gotten attacked by those 2 guys. Now only the rest. No, it's getting really, like, you're getting a good player after good player. It's really, really scary to face them. But still, Dizzy have to keep doing their thing and somehow staying close in time and hoping maybe for a mistake from the other side.
At this point, that's indeed what you have to hope for. You just got to cross your fingers and hope for a defense and have them be at 14 stars, because that's what these wars nowadays are being at, 15, 15, and all it takes is one attack that gets about a minute 55 and causes you to lose a match. And then it really changes the mindset of these players when an attack like that comes in. Granted, the other players still have to be quick, but it's a huge relief if you start to see because when these players are building their bases and testing it, they're not testing it really all too much to try to defend against a 2-star. It's really just what can they do to slow the attack down. They have an idea of most likely where the attack's going to come in with the possible Root Riders and Valks, but how can you slow it down? Putting a tornado trap, springing the Valkyries that don't has as much damage in the core. Those are really the small details that these players have to think about.
Yeah, that is for sure a big task currently for those base builders in this competition, to really find this new trick, new setup, new overall base, maybe even to really slow attacks down or even to defend, like the invisibility tower bases in the beginning, right, where people were surprised by them. They were not used to attacking them. So well, next attack on the line. Dizzy is up next, attacking Cynthia on the other side now.
Cynthia is the Hog Rider Master. The question is, will he be using any hogs? Obviously, he'll have the hogs from the Royal Champion, but Cynthia, I think, wants to do his absolute best to try to use the hogs if he can. But if the base is set up for a certain attack strategy that it could be quick, he's definitely going to do that to try to help his team out. As now, we're going to see more Root Riders and Valk, still the classic jump with the overgrowth, and always pairing that jump near where that king is going to path his way right on in towards the ricochet cannons, and it looks like the clan castle is also over towards the edge of the space.
Yes, that is right. The jump spell is again to like combine the power of the Archer Queen and the Barbarian King, which so far is working quite nice. And he's using the siege barracks on the complete opposite side to make sure that he's trying to somehow surround the village, somehow spread out his damage to make sure that this base is getting attacked from every single possible angle.
Yeah, with that overgrowth, clearing that town hall and the mile field, he can move his way right around it and come back to finish it. As the Super Barbarians are placed around the edge of the top side, they help really protect that queen as she's continuing her way through, still has her ability, still has the Royal Champion ability, a Rage and a Freeze, and even a couple Super Barbarians can come to the bottom side to pull the Poison spell to possibly help not slow down the Root Riders as they make their way from the top side.
Yeah, but the town again is the last bidding, which should not be the biggest difference maker because he is having so many troops alive. I feel like he could have even used the Royal Championship even earlier, because remember, the Haste Vial is active for quite some time, and I feel like with activating it so late, you're losing DPS, which in the end is costing you time. So, well, so far Dizzy Esports have left a couple of seconds here and there, which is quite surprising with their attacks.
Minute 19, they're bringing the attacks down slowly but surely, but still there is that gap between their time of about around minute 20 to where VM Legacy is sitting at about a minute 12. So that 8-second differential could have come down to that one attack that he had to go all the way down to the bottom of the base, costing you about 5-6 seconds. You never know. That's really what it comes down to. Facing a team like VM Legacy, you need to get all the cleanup down as quick as possible. So with this being the upper bracket match, with the winner advancing to the grand finals, man, so much is on the line. And even though these players know that 3-starring is definitely been the easiest with the Root Riders and able to help them push their way through, it's still nerve-wracking. Their hands still can be shaking because of what's on the line, because of trying to get that golden ticket. And if you do, you're able to fly to the Clash of Clans World Championship and compete on the biggest stage.
Yeah, and there is a lot on the line. You said already, yes, the silver and golden ticket for sure, but as well a lot of money as well. For the first seed, it's 18,000. With winning this match, you have at least to the 12,000 of the second seed safe. This means winning this match is giving you at least this 12,000, which is already quite a bit. Losing this match, well, you could drop down to 6,500, which is quite a big difference, to say the least, in money. And on top of that, just getting that silver or golden ticket which then gives you the opportunity to play in the last chance qualifier or in the World Championship itself. It's just another boost in this prize money, which is then shared within those tournaments. So it's a really big deal to win this match for those two teams.
And this is the question. What attack will Cynthia be bringing here? Is it going to be the Root Riders and Valks? Is it going to be a Rocket Loot attack? Is it going to be a Mass Hog Riders? How can he be quick? Because if you are bringing an out-of-the-box strategy and you are slow, it could cost you the match. And okay, it is not the Root Riders here. It is some dragons and a giant arrow. And Cynthia loves that giant arrow, which activates the invisibility spell tower near that town hall so that a blimp can land on top of it and the town hall won't be invisible and the balloons and everything ignores it.
Yeah, and he was even able to snipe the back and air defense. Like, it's always crazy to me how you are able to angle those giant arrows, because I feel like it's so hard. If you just misdrop one tile, we all know the Archer Queen, right? Like, sometimes she's just going she's just going in a weird direction where, well, that could be already the giant arrow not getting the value. So really nicely done by him. With the rage now, he's pushing through that core really strong.
He is in dropping that freeze. Unfortunately, that sweeper pushing the dragon around, and this could be an issue as the dragons kind of ignored the core. We got a few dragons that path their way back to the top, but they're coming out back towards that scatter shot and the multi-arch tower. The Royal Champion is down. She's making her way. Where is she? Okay, there she is, towards the queen, to the bottom side. But the defensive queen still being up is a problem. He does have a poison to help slow her down, but this is being a little bit on the slower side here and can make this match even closer.
Yeah, but it's going to be for sure the Thracer, but as you said, it is going to be the slower attack. And this is what I meant, like, VM Legacy, that they have some players which are incredibly safe, like Cynthia, like Fluxy. They are really getting those 3 stars really in a safe fashion, but they are typically not the fastest attackers, it feels like. Yeah. Even though this attack is still on the 1 minute and 25 second mark, which is crazy to say that this is not the fastest attack, because we have seen yesterday attacks and matches where 1 minute and 25 seconds was a really solid time. But if we compare that with those other players from VM Legacy, it could be considered not that fast. And this just showcases how good those players of VM Legacy are with those really fast times.
Yeah, insane. But if you saw Max and Darkstar bringing attacks of a minute 11 and a minute 12 or a minute 13 right around that mark, the minute 25 is quite a bit slower, and it brought them closer to Dizzy Esports. It brought the average up about 5 seconds after that attack. You know, you've got to be quick. We still have a set of attacks here that come in from VM Legacy, and can they still clutch up and bring those quick triples? Bring it down about a minute 15. Granted, yes, a minute 25 is very quick, but when all the other pros at the stage are bringing that or even quicker, then you're going to have to change your game and make those small adjustments.
Yeah, it's always then the question though, what adjustments do you already do? Like, how can you speed things up even further? I feel like that is always a big thing. I mean, we always talk about, okay, let's just take more risk. But how do those risks look like? Like, what do they do? Like, do they, I don't know, like deploy everything with like 10 fingers and once? I don't even know if that would really speed things up. So I feel like they should just stick with their plans, do what they can do best, and maybe hope for the other team to mess things up, or make sure that they are as efficient with the deployment as possible.
Yeah, you've mentioned that you've been in Legends, you've gone against so many of these bases, you've built a lot of bases that pros have either used or took to be influential in their designs. What would be your recommendation to anyone out there that is trying to push up in Legends League and they get to a certain mark that they are always getting perfected, right? 320. Do you have any advice for them that when they run into that wall?
I feel like first off, currently in Legend especially, you have not only attacking being really important anymore, but now base building as well, which I feel like on Tournament 15, you had to use 2 rage towers and you were good to go on defending, right? Like that's how it was. It felt like at least like that. Now you really need to make sure that you're defensive as well, good looking, and you need to then rewatch maybe some of the attacks. Not about like to defend 8 times. It's about like maybe messing up 1 or 2 of those attacks. So rewatch the attacks, rewatch, okay, this angle is getting used a lot of times, and then adjust some traps, especially giant bombs. Spring traps versus Valkyries, for example, can be a good thing. Or if someone always deploys the siege barracks in that one corner, giant bombs, maybe a Tesla farm to surprise the attacker. All of those things can work for sure. And in Legends, small things can really backfire quickly. And that can really give you then some defenses, which is quite nice and can give you some trophies in the end.
So a little bit insight of my Legends. I'm always hanging around 5,100, right? I'm at the very low end of Legends League, and this is how many times I've changed my base. 0. Right? I never, ever change my base. I'm sure many players are like that. I'm curious, how many times do you change your base in a given Legends season?
I mean, when I did go for the rank 1 push, I think every 2 days or something.
Wow.
Because Legend bases higher up in Legends are getting shared really, really quick. So you have to have those new bases ready every couple of days. But this means as well tweaking your base, right? Like this is something which is really important. So you need to learn how to adjust traps. Now let's take a look at if the traps are adjusted for the spiky ball, which we see on this base.
Ooh, okay, this spiky ball. Here we go. Den coming in with that queen to the top side. Siege barracks placed off to the far right side, and then that instant warden ability to be able to help protect these root riders, making his way right on through as the town hall is off to the left, and a Tesla farm pops up in front of it near that monolith.
Yeah, the Tesla farm can be a problem for that Archer Queen. Without that King support, we'll have the core with this King then being a bit stronger. But with the overgrowth spell, everything is, well, not really shooting back. So the town hall now is going to be the biggest problem.
Yeah, with a rage to the bottom side, to have this Royal Champion continue her way down the bottom, still has that King ability, which has the spiky ball. It can help be fantastic for cleanup as he continues right on through, but still hanging on that King ability because of the skips. And I mean, really, that spiky ball, you can get so much value from this King by popping it now to have the splash damage of the giant gauntlet, but he's still waiting for the final 9 buildings. There you go. Finally now skips right on through, and we got ourselves a 3-star here for Dizzy Esports, right around their average time of about 1:20. So that will put them to 12 stars, and yep, staying 1:20 in this average attack duration, and finishing at 1:18. And VM Legacy have just that small lead advantage now.
Yeah, really nicely done by him with the spiky ball, getting that in, getting some love for that equipment. I'm still wondering, like, if every pro has the option of using either the spiky ball in a max stadium or the rage vial, what would be the usage rate of those two equipments? Because I feel like personally, to me, the rage vial is just more consistent compared with the spiky ball, where you can get some crazy value. Because if you get good bounces and your spiky ball is just one-shotting, I don't know, spell tower inside the village, that is crazy, right? Like one-shotting an invis, whatever, like poison or rage tower early on is huge. But if you don't get those crazy bounces and they're getting like some gold mines or elixir collectors on the outside, well, no one really cares, right? So it is high risk, high reward, I feel like. You really need to plan those bounces. So let's see if Ninja is doing exactly that. First off, nice arrow. Now, where is he going to use those bounces? Or is he just going to use the, well, equipment regularly?
Let's see, without Warden to help protect this blip. Oh, he got frozen up by the ice. Oh, he gets frozen up a second time there for that blip because of the ice golems. But he was able to push directly right on through, and he's going to clone with the balloons, and tons of balloons coming out. That town hall goes down as that queen's continuing to push her way down to the bottom side as these dragons are looking to help take out the Royal Champion and that queen in the core.
Yes, but I would like to take a look as well at the Barbarian King at the bottom side, because I really want to know how he's using that spiky ball. Is he going to use it as soon as the king is going in? No. Now, And that's not the question. Was that worth it? What would you say? Like, was this worth it over the Rage File? Like, it's always a tough call, in my opinion. But either way, this attack currently looks really strong. And it's really quick as well, even though the Tornado Trap currently is a little bit annoying.
Yeah, that spiky ball, I mean, granted, it did skip, take out all those buildings there, but we're looking at the time, approaching about a minute 20 right now in the attack duration. Those skellies are slowing down that Raw champion, and unfortunately, he's gonna have to pay with that time being a little bit slower on that. It's gonna bring this match even closer now, be a minute 30. This is their slowest attack so far. Oh no, that Queen's gonna work through the storage, finally now takes that down, but with that, and the average time being over a minute 30 now, let's take a look at the average attack duration going from a minute 16 to 1 minute and 20 seconds. We are exactly tied in this match now. And it comes down to the final attackers to determine who is getting themselves either a golden or silver ticket. Granted, you win, you're guaranteed yourself a silver ticket. If you make it to the finals, you just have to win one more to win that golden ticket.
Yeah, I would love to see and rewatch that beginning, because I feel like the game changer in this attack were the Ice Golems, because the Ice Golems came out, something lured them. I wasn't really sure what exactly lured them, but them freezing everything did cost a lot of time. I mean, that was easily like 5 to 8 seconds at least. And a lot of damage on the dragons as well, where they could have dealt more damage than on the buildings and everything, and the early warning ability was then kind of not really in use much. So I feel like that was the big game changer. And otherwise, dragons can be insanely quick. We have some of the fastest attacks being dragon attacks, but those ice golems, that is typically the key, that you can avoid them. Dragon attacks with ice golems lured out, that's not the best thing and possible. I don't know, like the worst scenario you could hope for, I guess.
Yeah, and the big thing is most of these bases have ice golems in the defending clan castles. And it's a lot of times it's a mix of having either 1, 2 ice golems with a bunch of archers sneaking in a headhunter in there, a super minion. So they're really a mix between a lot of different ways there. But remember, if you guys are watching on event.supercell.com/Clash of Clans, that's where you can earn in-game rewards. So make sure you guys are there and you can be earning your points, getting those in-game rewards there, because you can also submit your predictions there. Not only this month, you can do it for next month and even the month after. So make sure you guys are always tuning in there where you can get those in-game rewards from resources to books to even ores. So definitely something you do not want to be missing out on, as here we go, the final set of attacks to come in and determine who is going to be going to the grand finals of the May monthly finals here, as we are going to be seeing the Root Riders, the Valks. No overgrowth in this attack here.
Yeah, and I just heard from production, the average time is tied, yes, but like, it's the average time, right? So there is always some seconds in between. So currently Dizzy is would win because they are an advantage of 3 seconds. So they are quicker currently, even though the average time shows a tie. So Dizzy right now is having the advantage. And if they get another quick attack, then there is a lot of pressure on VM Legacy, and they could possibly get this upset victory. And so far, things are looking really, really good. The town hall is going down to the king and the queen. The Root Riders are looking good as well, I would say. And the Single Inferno towers are getting completely distracted by the skeleton spells.
Yeah, with the jump giving that king access, the town hall going down. With the queen standing in that poison spell, as she's slowly taking quite a bit of damage as she continues to push through that Eagle Artillery. Valks do come out of that siege barracks from the far right side, going straight into the enemy queen, and now a minute has passed, and it's all about cleaning up these final buildings here.
Yeah, he has to quickly clean them up, but is there enough troops left to get that quickly? 1 minute and 45 seconds currently. It's looking good to get this finished in 1 minute and 20 seconds. But wait a second, all of those giant bombs are actually dealing a lot of damage. And this is now 1 minute and 26 seconds, which means, let's just confirm if it's actually 1 minute 26 seconds.
Yeah.
Because that would mean
raised it.
that VM Legacy, I think they would tie with 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute 23. That would be the tie, right? Like if this Esports were in favor of 3 seconds, this means they need 1 minute and 23 seconds to tie things up. 1 minute 22 seconds to win. Please double check if that was right for me with the quick math on this one. But I think this would be crazy.
This will be crazy indeed. So VM ties with a 1 minute and 23 second attack. The attack that is needed for Fluxy to take note is 1 minute and 22 seconds. Here we go. Good luck to you, Cynthia. He's going in right away with the giant arrow flying across the base. The dragons are down, pulling a seeking air mine, a warden as well to push right up through the eagle. And here goes the warden ability to protect that blimp.
Please do not lure out any ice golem, please. But wait a second, there's actually a lot of headhunters in there instead. We can get the blimp towards the town hall. The clone is nice. The town hall's going down. That is massive for him. We have the king on the back end, and he can get a lot of value in that defending king compartment with the queen pushing around the right side, and the dragons are mainly joining up the queen. Is that now a good or a bad thing, though?
Yeah, they are kind of going to the bottom side. We do have 2 dragons that are off to the left, taking out the ground expo over there and going for the mortar. So that's going to help in terms of the cleanup here. Still has the Royal Champion ability with 2 freezes, rage, poison, a couple super barbs left to use. Now pops their RC ability. Hawk coming out, raging right on through that ricochet cannon. He's moving through. He's liking it. He's pumping his fist. Uses a freeze onto the multi and the enemy queen. He does find a tornado jam. He's clapping. He's liking the speed, pushing right on through, and Fluxy is trying to hit that mark of 1 minute 22 to claim a victory for VM Legacy. And there you go, my friends. About 1 minute 15, and Fluxy has the average attack duration lowered to 1 minute and 19 seconds. And VM Legacy will be advancing to the grand finals.
And oh my lord, dragons are just so quick, and especially if you don't lure the ice golems out. I mean, that was just really, really impressive from Fluxy, getting the quick 3-star when they needed it and clutching it out and giving them the opportunity, or not just the opportunity, giving them the access to the finals of this month qualifier.
Oh, for them, it is a huge relief coming from an upper bracket, because all you have to do is win 1. You come from that lower bracket, you have to force a bracket reset. So let's take a look at these attacks that were the deciding ones in this match here between Dizzy Esports and VM Legacy. What an average attack duration, right around the 1 minute 20 second mark throughout this whole match. Still brought in some amazing attacks there, and it just shows the smallest details, using that giant arrow to fly through the base, sniping some sweepers, the air defense is setting the funnels, and they are doing it perfectly here.
Yeah, really nicely done. The attack of Ninja was the only attack where you could argue it was a bit slower, where I feel like all of the other attacks were just so fast. But this means, on the other side, we will see VM Legacy in the finals, and we see Dizzy Esports facing off then in the lower bracket versus the World Champions versus Savage Elite for the other final spot.
Yeah, Savage Elite taking on Dizzy Esports. The winner will then come to take VM Legacy in the grand finals. As again, we have another perfect war. We have not had a fail yet here today, as Dizzy Esports unfortunately goes down to the average attack duration, and with Ninja being at 1 minute 35, the slowest of this match, it was thanks to Darkstar at minute 11, Maxed minute 12, Fluxy 1 minute 15, that really helped bring that attack duration down. So what a match there, and Fluxy coming in the end and clutching it there for VM Legacy with the pressure on the line.
Yeah, but I can 100%, 110% understand that, because it is not easy to be the finisher of a team, and Fluxy is delivering so many times for his team to finish off strong, get the results they need, and well, that's exactly what he did in this match. Eric, Woody, welcome back. How did you enjoy this match?
I loved it. I know it was amazing to watch from beginning to end. Eric is going to be back with us for just a few seconds, but yeah, just like seeing Fluxy perform here at a time when it was kind of up in the air. You know, Fluxy has been the clutch hitter, attacking last for this team for a long time now. It's not panned out for them sometimes in the past. Sometimes it's exactly what they needed. And this is one of those times when they can pat themselves in the back. Whoever is making that roster decision can be very glad that Fluxy was the man in the number 5 spot. Eric?
Yeah, it's always insane when you have the wars go back and forth like that. Like when they had that little taste, that little chance to be able to take the lead for just a moment, and then VM Legacy just snatches it right back from them. And that's always, it's like if you're on the VM Legacy side or you're a VM Legacy fan, and to see them step up to the plate like that and deliver that final attack there and swing the war back into their favor after losing the lead for just a moment, that's just a very satisfying feeling, and the team's got to be feeling good about making it into the grand finals. So let's take a look at the bracket here. Let's see exactly where we stand. There we go. VM Legacy has now advanced on the bracket, and there are still 2 teams now that will have to fight to be able to go back and face them in that grand finals and play for the golden ticket, Carbon.
Yeah, we have VM Legacy in the grand finals indeed, or it's the next match to come. Savage Elite taking on Dizzy Esports, and only one can make it back and go to the grand finals and guarantee themselves a silver ticket there. But man, what a set of attacks that we saw coming in towards the end, and it really was that final attack. Fluxy clutching it up, an amazing hit there, and you can see the emotion, the celebration to be able to do it. And hey, they've at least guaranteed a silver ticket, so a lot of weight is lifted off their shoulders, but still, they just want to win one more match. Can they do it? That is really the question. But let's get ready now for the next one. We have Dizzy Esports, Savage Elite, and look at those percentages. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, both teams are just so good. Dizzy Esports had, I think so far now, 3 matches which they played. Every single match in this double elimination bracket has been 15 stars for them. It's completely unreal. They had really impressive times, and I feel like it won't be an easy task whatsoever for their opponents, because they have shown up and they have now lost only once. But the question as well is, can they recover mentally now after their loss? Because that sometimes can kind of really destroy the mental of a team as well. But Eric, Savage Elite is looking really strong as well.
Yeah, they're a tough team to beat, and they've had like one mistake to put them in the lower bracket there, and that's all it took. But they were able to have the clutch factor to be able to take on HTM and get their revenge, knocking them out of the competition, not just down to a lower bracket like they did to them, but they are trying to get back into the World Championship to go defend their title. So I think everybody wants to see as well. I think a lot of people like to see when a team is able to make a return appearance to the World Championship after they won the World Championship last year, so they can go and defend their title. But I look at that freeze right there. I mean, look at that freeze that like goes on the sweeper right there. I still that would caught me off guard when he did that in the match right there. But yeah, they are doing incredible things here. They are playing very well, but I am a little concerned about whether they are going to be playing fast enough to be able to take on DZ, because we just saw DZ playing incredibly fast there, and I don't really know where this is going to play out. It feels like a coin flip to me, Woody.
It really does to me too. I think that if I were, held up against the wall and forced to make a pick, I'd say that there's a big psychological edge that you can't really underestimate with Savage Elite having already won a match today and Dizzy Esports having lost a match today. I think that changes the sort of dynamic in this match where it's, well, Savage Elite is going to continue their streak, right? And Dizzy Esports is the one that now has to turn things around. Even though Dizzy has gone perfect so far this entire month, 15 stars, 15 stars, 15 stars, back to back to back. They just took an L on a really tight one that they probably felt like they should have won. They were doing really well for much of it, had turned the tide at one point, and it was until Fluxy's incredible, really rapid attack, it seemed like they were going to get the win. So Dizzy is going to be a little bit demoralized from that. Savage Esports, still the reigning world champions, are going to be at their best in this next one. It's going to be an incredibly, maybe the closest match that we've seen so far this month.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing match. You do not want to miss it, but I'm going to break down one of the attacks that we saw in the last match with VM Legacy here. So we have Cynthi's attack. So take note right here in the beginning. Take a look at this invisibility spell tower. What he's going to do, so we'll go ahead and play it here. This arrow is going to fly across the base, and it's going to be able to grab the value. Look at this, fly across here and take out the damage all the way through there, but mainly activate the invisibility spell tower. And because that was activated, this town hall comes back to life to be able to push these dragons right on through. So his queen and king are going to be responsible for coming down here, while the dragons are moving their way right towards the top side into the core, breaking that down. Popping the king ability does lure out one of the ice golems that comes down here, but he's able to take that down, an additional ice golem. But what I wanted to point out was the fact of that arrow flying through the base and activating the invis, so the blimp can help take it out, so the dragons can move their way through. He wasn't able to lock on and have the arrow potentially take out a sweeper. That would have been really nice value, but still able to activate the invisibility spell nice and early, was able to help take that down. And then it was a matter of moving these dragons right on through. Yes, we have the defensive queen still being a problem in the backside of the base, but notice he's able to then use the poison spell to help take that down, or at least slow her down, dropping the royal champion. She came from the bottom side, raging her up through the hogs, and a fantastic job. I wanted to point out the fact that a giant arrow flying through a base can activate that invisibility spell, because all you need to do is have that arrow damage anything that circle or that invisibility spell is basically touching, and that will activate it, allowing the blimp to fly in and take out the town hall or take out the valley. Because if you don't activate that early and the blimp makes it to the town hall, the invis activates and the blues ignore it and fly around, and you don't get that same value. So great job of identifying he could do that. Yeah, it wasn't the fastest attack, but still the small details like this that the pros identify is so valuable to maybe you can use in one of your attacks.
All right, well, that was a nice breakdown, Carbonfit. Appreciate that. But we have one of our community streamers on standby here we want to have a little chat with. So let's bring on Susie Gaving to the broadcast here. And how you doing, Susie? Welcome to the broadcast. And I want to know, first of all, how you felt about these first opening matches as we get the day kicked off here.
Hi Eric, very happy to be here. Wow, what an amazing match we have chance to watch. Like Dizzy and VM watching to fight for the time there. That was exciting until the last second, and I have so much respect for the final attacker, especially for Fluxy, where he knew that he had to hit the 3-star under 83 seconds. Wow.
So I got a question for you too, Susie. Because these matches have been so close and because we've had so much fun trying to predict them, going into the next one where we're on the bottom bracket between Dizzy Esports and Savage Elite, which team do you think is going to come out on top?
If you asked me this question like few months ago, I would definitely say Savage Elite, because, you know, guys won the World Championship, like 4 of them has the title. But watching the Dizzy Esport, like I have opportunity to stream their matches for months, and I actually could watch step by step how they were adapting to the new meta, and they were getting better every day, and especially this monthly finals, like wow, all their matches are so fast 3-star and almost all the time hitting the 15 stars. And when I saw them, they were against VM Legacy, as they were facing them during the monthly qualifier, and again facing them, I kind of have feeling they can win against Savage Elite here.
All right, well, what about when they get ready? Whoever ultimately advances from here is obviously going to get a golden ticket to go to the World Championship. So we saw how Synchronic was able to play last month, and we saw the bar that they set there for all the teams to be able to make it to the World Championship. Do you think any of these 3 remaining teams have what it takes to actually take down Synchronic once they get there?
Actually, Dizzy Esports was able to get a victory against Synchrony not a long time ago. VM Legacy is kind of my personal prediction for this month, if you guys don't jinx them. I kind of can see them with the golden ticket, and honestly any of these teams can be a really good opponent against Synchronics. Synchronics are very young, talented players with really good base builders. So if these teams can have also a really good base builder team, I think so they can be a really strong opponent to Synchronic.
Well, Susie, you've been working like clockwork streaming these matches on your own. Boom, 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 across the board. It's been wins all around. We've really enjoyed watching on your channel as well. And because you've got that insight into the esports scene, I wonder if there's any final thoughts that you have that you want to share with the rest of us out here. Maybe something that we haven't been paying attention to or that we should look more closely at.
I just want to wish the teams best of luck, and I am so impressed by how they are changing also the strategy they are using. I really have feeling that previous qualifiers or finals were a lot of Root Riders attacks, but now we can see quite a lot of Dragon's hits with the Giant Arrow, which is always awesome to watch, and as well with the Lalo and the E-Dragon. So honestly, just best of luck to them, and definitely viewers stay around because these matches are insane. We couldn't ask for the better teams right now being in these finals.
All right. Well, we appreciate your thoughts there, Susie. That's Susie Gaming. You find her on Twitch. Definitely one of the best Clash of Clans esports streamers in the community. Thank you so much for joining us, Susie, and we'll talk to you later. All right, well, let's get back over with Itsu and Carbon Fin, bring them back on. And Carbon Fin, I think we need to start going over our own predictions for this match.
Yes, indeed. Let's bring up our predictions and see who we think is going to be taking this one on. And whoa, okay, we've got myself, Itsu, and you, Eric. They're taking Dizzy, while Woody is going here with Savage Elite. So, Itsu, what's your thoughts behind Dizzy? I'm thinking because they did so well, they had such incredible times, I'm thinking they're going to come back and try to get the revenge against VM Legacy. What about you, Itsu? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel the same. I think they're going to be really, really hungry to get that revenge versus VM Legacy. And they had just such incredible results, not only on stars, but as well on time. I feel like that is the impressive thing. They're not only consistent in 3-starring, but as well consistent with those really quick times. Yes, they have like maybe a slower attack here and there, but still most of those attacks are still quicker than the attack of Savage Elite, which is why I went with them. Community on the other side though thinks that Savage Elite is having the upper hand. Again, maybe because of the names, maybe not. We don't know, but either way, community thinks that Savage Elite is going to win, which means they're more on the side of Woody. That's, I think, why I want to jump to Woody next, because why do you think you and the community went with this prediction?
Well, I outlined it a little bit already earlier. Savage Elite have a win today, whereas Dizzy Esports have a loss. So for both sides, they are going to be trying to maintain the possibility of a win, but with Savage Esports already having momentum in their favor and Dizzy Esports against them, Savage Esports also, of course, being the reigning world champions, Savage Esports also being a team that has had many deep bracket experiences for many years now and have been able to emerge victorious even when they've got their backs up against the wall. I think that this is just like a script that is written perfectly for them to continue a run through the bottom bracket, just like we saw last month with Synchronic going all the way from the lower brackets quarterfinals until the very grand final match of the month. It seems like it's just like the perfect opportunity for them to verify all of the great expectations that so many players out there have had for them, and it seems that the fans out there right now are also expecting Savage Esports to pick up the win. But because all three of you took Dizzy Esports, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. I wondered, Eric, if you want to kind of bounce off of that and share your perspective too.
I don't know. I think I'm kind of in line with where Carbon Fin and Itsu are sitting. However, it is time for this match to get going here. So myself and Carbon Fin are going to be stepping off here. And so we're going to pass it over to you guys. So Itsu and Woody, take it away here, and good luck to the teams.
Thank you. Yeah, this match should be for sure an epic one. Community and Woody on the Savage Elite side, with then Eric, Carbon, and me on the Dizzy side. Either way, both teams have proven that they can have those incredible, consistent, but as well fast attacks. And Dizzy Esports are actually the team to start things off. They want to have a good impression because we have seen Savage Elite earlier. They can sometimes struggle when they're getting put under pressure.
Sometimes they can, but this is another thing that I think is in their column that just like really kind of stacks up another advantage for Savage Elite. They get a chance to respond to the attacks from Dizzy Esports. So Savage Elite is going to have the final attack of the day. They're going to know exactly what they have to do on their 5th and final hit. It really means a lot, I think, when you see any mistake on either side of the battlefield. If Dizzy Esports slips up early on, then Savage Elite know that they can just coast to victory. If Savage Elite is the one that messes up early on, Dizzy Esports still have to play at 100% because they don't get to see the final attack from Savage Elite until they've already committed all 5 of their hits. So we'll go to Kai first. We'll see that Overgrowth spell dropped in kind of the north center spot here. He's trying to finish off that Monolith with a couple more Super Barbarians to make sure that that doesn't cause any problem for heroes at the end. And he does barely manage to get it done, but the cleanup might be a little bit slower as a result. He's holding on to 2 more free spells ready to shut down the Town Hall and maybe the Scatter Shot. There's still a single target Inferno that he's got to freeze up first. But this is a pretty quick attack overall, and I think that Dizzy Esports is going to be happy with it.
I don't think that they're going to be happy with it at all, because this is going to be a 1-star. The hero dive in the beginning went completely not to plan. The king did not take down the Inferno Tower or the Monolith. The queen did not get her value either. And now he has to face a single Inferno Tower protecting that town hall. You can see already, he is not happy with this result whatsoever. And we have talked about it. How can they recover from their loss? And it feels like that there were quite some nerves in play, because there were a lot of mistakes, especially with this opening. King not getting the value, Monolith surviving, Multi-Inferno surviving, so he has to reinforce with Super Barbarians and Enraged, which then was completely missing on the back end.
Well, this is only the second 1-star attack that we've seen. I just took it for granted that he had enough army to finish this thing off. I was really just watching the time that was remaining and the shape of the base, but you're right. When I was about to toss it back off to you, I was like, where did the rest of the army go? Where are the Root Riders? They just evaporated. Single target Infernos really have been, I guess, an issue. And leaving that Town Hall up to the very end, a risky maneuver that has resulted in a 1-star before for Savage Elite. Maybe they learned their lesson and are turning that same sort of strategy against their foes. But, I mean, this is a huge pickup for Savage Elite. Out of the gate, they already get a 2-star advantage on defense.
Yeah, they are really happy with their defense. The thing now, though, is that they have to take advantage of that on offense and have to make sure that they are playing safe. The good thing for us as well is that we have now, or the players have now, the freedom of playing whatever they want. They can now play those more safer approaches, which means they can go with their crazy Lalo attack, for example, or a queen charge approach and things like that. Let's see if they're going to do that over the match. For now, Pato is in with the Root Riders and those Valkyries again with the hero dive, and let's hope that this hero dive is going to work better for him than, well, the attacker of Dizzy Esports.
You are going to see safe 3-star hits from across the board now that Savage Elite have a 2-star lead. They know that they can even miss an attack with a 2-star of their own. And even if Dizzy Esports goes perfect from here on out, Savage Elite can take that 3-star win. I think that what we were expecting to be a very close war has the potential to be a very long war, with Savage Elite taking no risks whatsoever and making sure that they do everything in their power to guarantee 3 stars and not worry at all about time now, Itsu.
Yeah, he doesn't want to worry about time whatsoever, but the queen is in that core, and as soon as that overgrowth is running out, he has the opportunity to take down the town hall instantly with that queen ability. But the town explosion itself could be problematic. The poison is there as well, but the core is getting evaporated with those Root Riders now finishing off the scatter compartment, and that's going to be another 3-star. Actually, the first 3-star in this match, and Savage Elite is doing exactly what was expected from them, and even doing a quick one on top. So, really good start for them. getting a 3-star, getting a solid defense. It could not get any better than this from this point on. And maybe we have another dream comeback story from the lower bracket, as we had already in the last qualifier.
Yeah, I mean, we can't chisel it in stone yet, but Savage Elite have just had the best possible start for a war. To get a 1-star defense and then pick up a quick 3-star offense from their first attacker. All 4 of their other attackers already saw the first hit from Dizzy, and we're reconfiguring their entire army, saying, okay, we don't need to worry about time. We don't need to worry about getting the maximum possible value out of every single little troop here. We just have to take it slow, use all 3 minutes if necessary, plan for the perfect precision strikes on every single defense. I think it's going to be a walk in the park for Savage Elite at this point, and I'm really worried that Dizzy are just not going to be able to even get any momentum back on their side at all. They need 3 stars consistently all the way throughout, but I guess in their defense, they probably don't have to worry about time either. They're going to have to rely on getting probably multiple defenses off of Savage Esports at this point, and maybe try to win on percentage?
Well, that is what they can hope for. At the same time, we have seen from them already in the earlier match what they have done. What they have done when the match is not coming down to the 15-15 tie possibility. They have used multiple overgrowth spells, which typically slows down the attack. Like the one overgrowth spell is like the sweet spot where it comes down to like time and really giving you a lot of power, but then adding more and more can make your attack even stronger if used correctly. But this is then where it gets slower as well. This is what they have done earlier in the tournament when the 15-15 score was off the table. So that is something for sure I'm looking forward to then maybe what they're going to use again in their next attacks when, well, they just are going for those safer options and 3 stars.
Next attack will be Ueta against Pato. Ueta for Dizzy Esports is completely changing the way that this war is going to be shaped up now. He is in the most high pressure position because after having seen that 1-star from his teammate, he knows he has a very short amount of time to reconfigure his attack, redesign everything. Is he just going to stick with a plan that he was already working on? Does he have another way of trying to approach this space? He's going to bring no overgrowth spells whatsoever.
Yeah, so completely
really
different.
Suggesting that he thinks that this might actually be a war that goes down to time, or that maybe this just isn't the right sort of base to be dropping that sort of offense. But either way, he's dropped a lot of troops, almost all of them except for the Super Barbarians, to clean up along the edges. Root Riders are collapsing toward the interior from this left corner with a little bit of difficulty, but a pretty nice fan. Got to keep the DPS high and should be able to get to the Town Hall soon after. Archer Queen's in a little bit of peril up there, pops her ability, and with the healer puppets coming out, they are actually going to switch off of her. This is looking really gnarly, Itsu.
Yeah, he is switching to those Root Riders in the core, doing a great job there. The King has got off the value on the top side, the Queen has gotten the Town Hall, and with that Royal Champion ability, I think he should be able to power through with the Super Minions now clearing out the bottom side. There goes the Royal Champion ability. As long as he's not catching too many giant bombs, I think it should be still alright, even though the Lava Hound can be problematic, but those spawn Hog Riders with the Royal Champion equipment is just really, really powerful, and this gives them the 3-star. Again, it's not the quickest, but at this point, this is not something anymore which they have to look out for. It's just about getting those 3 stars consistently, and at the same time, hoping for one of those miracle defenses.
So I guess that will be what they're going for after all, even though, I mean, that was a very fast attack from Dizzy, 1 minute and 20 seconds, or 27 seconds, a little bit slower than that. But yeah, I think instead of trying to hope that they peel off a couple of 2-star defenses, they're hoping for a 1-star defense of their own that would then keep time relevant here. The only other 1-star attack that we saw yesterday from Savage Elite was also a 1-star 97%. So it's not the worst idea in the world if you already know how you want to shape up your attacks, if you don't want to try to completely rewrite your entire strategy book from the beginning. I guess it's fine to keep going ahead with your plan, you know, not worrying about what your other players are going to do, just focusing solely on yourself. They know what has worked in the past for them. They've been perfect so far this entire month, except for that one attack. But I just think that this is the time when you really start to see an advantage for teams that can adapt on the fly, that can think on their feet, that are quick to recognize a weakness or an opportunity. And so far, it really seems like Savage Elite is that team.
Yeah, now it's back to them and actually deciding what strategy they're going for. As again, we're seeing the bracket. This is the lower semi-finals, which means whoever is going to win this is having the chance in the grand finals to face off against VM Legacy. DZ Esports want to get their rematch, but currently it's looking not too good for them. While on the other side, we have Savage Elite. They could have the same comeback story as we have already seen last month, dropping down in the first match and then winning everything in the lower bracket to somehow make it back to the finals and give it their all to somehow get to the golden ticket, which is still a long road ahead. I mean, it's not going to be an easy road whatsoever. Finishing this match and then beating VM Legacy twice, this is a really tough one.
Incredibly tough and a really unfortunate position for Dizzy, knowing that they were going up against the world champions and knowing that they needed to get every single second that they possibly could. I think that that is what led to the slip up in the first hit. Savage Elite now with a 3-star of their own are going to try to get a second now, as Leo is going to be attacking Yaga. He is a 3-star master, has not missed one yet. And I think that we can expect the same here now, as he's going to be moving in with an overgrowth spell, siege barracks. This is going to be probably a very powerful hit that doesn't need to really optimize on time. Leo might be the first attacker in this war that has kind of recognized the shape of the star race, with Savage Elite far and ahead. They just need to stay ahead. They don't need to overcome any tiebreaker advantage that Dizzy Esports could possibly even get.
Yeah, and again, this time around, it's on the opener. We have seen the one fail being, well, the opening did not go to plan. The jump, the king, the queen, that did not get their value. This time around, though, Leo is looking way better with his opening. The king really getting all of the value needed. The poison is there. The queen equipment is there as well to keep those heroes alive. Even a skeleton spell on the back end, where the root wipes are strongly pushing into those back end defenses and making sure that they're going down. The supermoons are there as well, being able to cross those walls. Even though they're getting caught inside the tornado trap, they can still deal a lot of damage there.
Caught in the tornado and also soaking a few black air bombs. Not great news for Leo, but again, not going to be a major problem. He still has plenty of troops in the core, raged up now to take down both the Monolith and the Town Hall. This base is crushed. Leo the Lion roars again with a 3-star for Savage Elite. This is going exactly according to plan for them, with a 2-star advantage still over Dizzy Esports, and relatively quick attacks right alongside. They're winning on stars, they're winning on percentage destruction, they're winning on time. Savage Elite are in the driver's seat, and they can barely see Dizzy Esports in their rearview mirror.
Yeah, it is not the best position to be in. 2 stars behind is a lot in the current meta, and especially I feel like whenever we see those 1 stars, that typically happen early on in the match, and it's always so hard as well, just on a mental thing. Coming from a loss, starting with a 1-star, it's really hard to come back from that. And well, they still have to hope for a defense while at the same time doing as good as possible on their own offense and getting those play stars in.
All right, well, we're going to be going back to Dizzy Esports once again, and you're right. It's a pretty depressing position to have to be in, because they know that they need 3 stars from here on out. They don't know if they need to be optimizing for time. They don't know if they need to just be making safe plays. It's just like questions that are bubbling up in their mind that just really have no right answer for them. The only thing that they need for sure are 3 stars and a defense at some point against a team that seems unstoppable at this point. Savage Elite have shown no weaknesses whatsoever. It hasn't even really been a close hit for either of their first 2 attacks in this war. Dizzy Esports' bases are already set, and with even more time to prepare for their 3rd, 4th, and 5th hits, I think that Savage Elite are going to be very tough to stop. But Dizzy Esports are solid attackers. They've had perfect wars so far. I expect to see them close out with 13 stars in the end. We're just waiting a few more seconds now before the admins give the go-ahead for the middle of this war to begin. The third attack will be coming in from Disney Esports to set the mid stage now. It's going to be coming from Chen against Selinho. And expecting to see more Root Riders. Really does seem to be far ahead. The favorite from Disney Esports. Just a few Mass Dragons have been gracing the battlefield so far, but Root Riders really cannot be overstated as the meta troop right now that has had so much favor from so many pros. And it is going to be a Root Rider army complemented once again with Valkyries, another great troop to clear out, get some great splash damage. As long as the Root Riders are tearing down those walls, Valkyries will rip to shreds whatever remains in the interior. Chen setting up his 3 heroes here, kind of on a spread path. Queen on the right corner, King in the middle, ready to jump over the walls as soon as he can get there, although he's taking a lot of damage early on. And the Grand Warden up top to protect the Root Riders. Siege Barracks now in the bottom corner, and Chen is going at full speed now, ready to hop on into the core of this base and deal as much damage as he can in a short amount of time. Overgrowth to shut down the Town Hall, and it's going to be another wraparound attack, although he misses the Ricochet Cannon there in the core.
Yeah, but the King did get all of the value needed, making sure though that the one Super Barbarian is getting that elixir storage cleaned up. We have seen that earlier, that is sometimes the thing which can cost on time. On this attack specifically, it is not a big difference maker anymore because time is less likely to be a factor, but the Archer Queen ability is going to clear out the bottom compartment, the bottom couple of buildings, and she's going for a wall going down, but having so many troops left alive, 2 phrases and a rage, it should be easy going to finish off the last couple of buildings and finish off the town hall, and that's exactly what it's looking like. And Disney Esports are going back to what they have done all tournament long, and this is 3-starring bases left and right.
Well, you are right about that. Chen gives a little heart to the camera there. Clearly happy with the performance in that last hit. Not maybe his best attack ever, but 3 stars is 3 stars, and he's happy with the finish there. Just missing that one little Ricochet Cannon, though. I can say already that that's the sort of mistake that you wouldn't typically see from a World Championship team at the very top. He lost his Archer Queen to a forced ability after that, and it led to an average attack time that is still staying above 1.5 minutes for Disney Esports. 1:28 was quicker than Kai's, but slower than Ueda's. And it looks like Disney Esports doing well, but just not able to overcome that really big miss from Kai early on. So back to Savage Elite now. They've got 3 more attacks, and like we said before, even if they slip up and get a 2-star on one of them, they'll still have a full star advantage over their opponents. Disney Esports have got to hope that they can somehow win on a percentage tiebreak with multiple defenses or something really that throws Savage Elite out of whack. But with Pato being the only player on the Savage Elite squad that has missed a 3-star at all this entire tournament, and him having already put up a triple of his own this war, I think that it looks like a really solid roster to finish out the rest of this attack, and ought to expect to see another perfect war from Savage Elite next.
Yeah, and I feel like especially frustrating is that Disney Esports, they don't have it in their own hands. Like, this is the one thing which might be the most frustrating feeling, because you're relying on your opponents to mess up because of your first couple of attacks. So that is, I feel like, really hard mentally to know, okay, we have to do the best we can possibly do, but in the end, we don't even have it in our own hands, and that can be kind of not the best situation to be in.
It's demoralizing. And in a game like Clash of Clans, at the top level of esports, you have really got to have everything line up in your favor. The stars have to align if you want to get that golden ticket. And so far, Disney Esports are finding the stars crashing down on them. It is just a cataclysmic miss to get a 1-star in your very first strike. It really demoralizes the entire team, gives everyone on the other side a big morale boost. I mean, just look at the smile on Bernal's face in this photo. You know that's exactly how he's feeling, if not even better, to be attacking third now with his team ahead by 2 stars. Bernal does not miss, and as the only player on Savage Elite who was not on the roster for the World Championship run last year, he's got all the more on the line to try to make his name known, to try to be on that grand stage, get the big prize, become a world champion. He is not going to let this moment pass by, Amitsu.
Yeah, and we actually see a queen charge Lalo attack. I love to see that we have this queen charge attack. We don't see queen charges that often anymore, so it's really nice that he's bringing it in this one, even though it seems like the king is not walking in as intended. If he's delaying the next wall break, though, he might walk back, and that's exactly what is happening. He wants to have this queen taking down the monolith, and with the next wall break, he can then reach even further into this base with 2 more Throne towers on the menu. And with the walls getting destroyed on the bottom side because of the flame flinger, he should be able to get the wall break into that clan castle compartment to reach the town hall, reach the rage towers, reach the scatter shots, reach everything, even the sweepers. And that is then an incredible queen charge, and exactly that is happening with this wall break.
Bernal is almost in practice mode right now, bringing this Laloon in. He knows that he can get a quick hit if necessary, but he has just not even deployed the balloons at this point because he knows that he can just go slow and steady to win this race. Turtling to the end. Look, that queen charge has gone all the way to the core, taken down the town hall for the first star, 50% claimed for the second star, and it will not be a cataclysmic fail. It might even be an epic win for Bernal as the balloons start to march on in, floating over these defenses and dropping them down one by one. Only one air defense left on the left side corner with the freeze spell out to shut it off. He just basically tosses the last freeze spell at a ground expo, not even worried about defenses at this point. This base has been annihilated. The slowest attack so far, but showing a versatility in the attacking styles. Savage Elite bring a Laloon strike to finish off this base and give Bernal a good reason to rest easy after the third attack from his team.
Yeah, that was a beautiful queen charge. Really knowing as well how those wall breakers work, because I've seen this a lot of times not done correctly, with people ignoring compartments and areas of the base which have walls surrounding them, and this is why wall breakers then do not walk as intended and things like that. But Bernal perfectly knows, okay, he has the wall break in the key on one side, the flame flinger will do the job on the other side because there was a defensive building touching that wall and opening the wall for him, so he only needs those overall. I think it was like 3 or 4 wall breaks and not any more or any less. Really knowing the limits, and wall breakers are actually one of the harder troops to learn how they actually path, because sometimes it's not really clear of what they're targeting and how they even work, because for some people it just looks like, well, there's a wall, it's not targeting it, sometimes it is, and really knowing and understanding them is a key thing for those queen charge attacks. I think that was really a masterclass from him, showcasing how to get his queen that deep into that base.
Well, you're certainly right, and this is something that we picked up on from Bernal's performance since back in the days when he was playing in like CWL, back when he was competing in Poland on the live stage. He just, although he's a great Laloon player, and that's kind of what I was calling out for most of that attack, it really is the queen charge that he gets the most value from. And in order to get that queen deep on bases with high walls, you have to be able to crack through multiple different layers with those wall breaks. Bernal is maybe the best in the world. I mean, I can't think of anyone better. I'll call him the best wall break queen charger in the world. And until anyone else can prove me wrong, then I think that Bernal definitely deserves a spot on this world championship team and has a solid chance at making another win happen for Savage Elite. Let's go back to Den now for Dizzy Esports. He's going to be cracking back with another Root Rider attack. Relying on those Apprentice Wardens to beef up the damage, and the Grand Warden right on top to keep them safe with an Eternal Tome.
Yeah, he's getting that entry nice and early with the Warden ability. Having the Lava Hound, though, getting lured. But the Archer Queen is close around, which means it should go down eventually. While we have the Royal Champion getting deployed really early on with those Root Riders. And the goal currently for him is to funnel those Root Riders into the core, into that invisibility tower, so he can then use the overgrowth spell exactly as planned to make sure that the town is staying alive. And the spiky ball got quite a few defense on the back end. The question though is, were it mainly like outside buildings which were not that important, or were there key defenses with them as well?
Defending Archer Queen tries to pop down another couple Root Riders, but the ability popped by Din there will take out the Inferno Tower and the enemy Queen back to back. Overgrowth still just lingering on the Town Hall, and A tough finishing charge here, but with still the Royal Champion ability left to toss, it should be enough to overpower the back end of this base. She is going to have to run on out, though. The invisibility trap triggering once again and kind of slowing things down, but a pretty quick hit from Den, all things considered. 3 more stars for Dizzy Esports, and another fantastic finish with Root Riders. But it is just not going to be enough to overcome the massive gap that Savage Elite have established in their favor with that epic defense on the first round.
Yeah, I feel like that one defense is really carrying them then out all the way. Not only with the result, but as well momentum based. It's like really hard to keep that, like, to even give that away. And we saw that with the reaction of Bernal, of like, okay, he knows he's getting that 3-star. Time is not a factor anymore for them. It's just about getting those 3 stars. And that was really nicely showcased as well in that reaction of him. And well, they're up next again. And as long as they keep doing what they're currently non-stop doing, which is 3-starring, then they are looking really good for this match, and they have the chance of actually competing versus VM Legacy in the finals then.
Well, let's see how they do it. If they keep that 3-star energy up, then they have got exactly what they need to close this out with another perfect war and send a strong message to VM Legacy that they are not going to be trifled with, that they are ready to go the distance and force a bracket reset into a golden ticket win. They may have had one slip up yesterday, but Savage Elite are perfect so far today and are trying to keep that streak going. If we see a 3-star in this next attack, then a 2-star finish would be enough to guarantee victory for them. That is certainly got to be something that's on Dizzy Esports' mind, because they need a defense right now against Loop if they want to try to have the 2-star hope of a percentage win remain alive. In Loop's favor, he knows that if he gets that 3-star, it's basically all over at that point. But even a 2-star from Loop could be sufficient to maintain Savage Elite's winning run.
They are actually going in with the Lalo on this one, the jump spell as well in the mix to make sure that his heroes can get even more value. Getting the wall break already in, the king then getting jumped even further into the base for the multi-inferno tower, and though this Archer Queen. And with those buildings then touching each other, this means he can get some crazy value for this giant gauntlet, and the as well Archer Queen to trigger that Invis tower early on. Is he even going to try to go for that town hall? No way, like he won't be able to get that.
Well, I know that he hit the air defense on the opposite side of the base. I know that he was able to get that Invis tower triggered. He didn't quite get the air sweeper that was in the core there that I thought he might have tried to go for, but must have figured that the Invis tower was a more important target to trigger early on. And yeah, he will be dropping the balloons and blimp from the top side there. So as long as he can keep that air sweeper shut down, he'll still be on a coasting easy path to the triple. First star claimed with the 50% mark passed, and with the battle blimp right on top of the town hall, we can certainly expect the second star will be an easy get for Loop.
Yeah, and the Lalo looks so strong. I mean, there is not many key defense left over, which can somehow stop this crazy push of those loons. We have even a Lava Hound left in the mix. The Queen is alive with her healers, which she spawned from a healer puppet. And this is going to be a crushing 3. Are there even 2? There's even 2 hounds alive from this attack, just crushing 3-star and an incredible hero dive and making sure that this base has no chance. And this means another 3-star is in. And as long now Savage Elite is not 1-starring on their own, they're good to go to get to the finals.
Well, this is exactly what I was hoping to see from Savage Elite. They've pivoted away from giving any care at all about time and are just focusing on the safe 3-stars. That was 1 minute and 46 on that attack timer. The second longest that we've seen right after Bernal, and yet it is still just such an overwhelming lead for Savage Elite. Not caring at all about time, just those safe 3-star strikes. Lava Loon is the way to do it. And this is a team that can very easily pivot away from any Root Rider strategy that they were working on to find a La Loon attack angle for their 3rd, 4th, and maybe even their 5th hitters. But with another 3-star on the board, Dizzy Esports now needs to put up a 3-star of their own and then get a 1-star defense on the final run. Not something that you can really expect to even be possible at this point. Savage Elite know that they can walk away with a win just by taking down 50% and the Town Hall. That is going to be a very easy hurdle for them to leap over in the last 2 attacks of this war.
Yeah, that should be for sure something which is manageable, I guess, for those teams. 2 stars to win wars. I feel like that is now the motto of the last attacker for Savage Elite. But now, Dizzy Esports for now, they are, well, they just have to do what they have to do non-stop since their first fail. 3-starring and hoping for a miracle, because so far Savage, they did not show any weakness whatsoever. And, well, if they're doing that yet again with their last attack, it was not in their hands anymore. But last attacker is getting ready for Dizzy Esports. They have to get this 3-star in to still have hope for their last defense.
Jaeger, the final attacker now, up against Leo the Lion. King of the Jungle is going to be sitting high on his throne. But will it be another 3-star strike from Dizzy Esports to close this thing out with 13 stars of their own? They certainly don't want to be the only team to have a 12-star finish in this month's finals. So at least 13 from them would be a good way to end this race. Booting back up, we'll kick off again. Jaeger marching on in, and what army has he brought for us this time? We'll find out in just a moment. It is going to be Masked Dragons, Itsu.
Masked Dragons indeed. Do we see? No, we have already the Archer Queen. Wait, I think it was a giant arrow, which we have missed in the beginning, because the air defense on the other side is gone, if I believe I see that correctly. So that is now a blimp for the core, and we have those dragons now spreading out. The king is getting pushed into that compartment, where the queen is slowly taking care of that bottom side. The town hall went down with that blimp, and now it's all about overpowering the last remaining defense with the spiky ball, as well dealing some more damage.
Well, it has been a rapid fast attack so far from Jaeger. He is not going to let up any speed or pressure on this base. Dragon Riders up on top helping out with the Masked Drags, supported by the Grand Warden. They're just charging straight toward the finish, and they're going to eliminate this base, no questions asked. Shows off that Dizzy jersey and sends a little bit of love back out to the fans. It's 13 stars claimed from Dizzy Esports, missing just a few buildings in their first attack. So close to a perfect war against Savage Elite, but close is not going to be good enough. Savage Elite can walk away with a 2-star hit in their next attack to get the win. There's just going to be another few minutes left until this war is over.
Yes, and now we're waiting for the 2-star, at least 2-star attack. I'm pretty confident that they're not going for the safe 2-star, like, they're not just going for 2 stars. They would just go for 3 stars overall, but have a save the second star option. I'm pretty confident that they're not going to use the overgrowth spell, because I feel like this is what we have seen most of the fails happen with having the town on the back end. So I hope that we don't see that from Cedinho, but I'm sure that he's actually bringing 2 out of. Okay, I have not said anything. He is just bringing 2 of them and going with the town on the last bidding, or what is going on here?
Well, we are indeed back to Root Riders. Savage Elite can swing it any way they want at this point. It's a relatively isolated base with kind of an anti-2-star design in the core here for the Town Hall to be a little bit separated, but Log Launcher rolling all the way through is going to help to make sure that there's no problem at all tearing these walls down. He's holding on to the Royal Champion a little bit late. He drops her. Oh, he's even going to give an overgrowth into the core. Kind of an odd choice if you ask me, but I guess if the Log Launcher continues to roll on through, it rolls slowly and directly for the Town Hall, whether or not there's an overgrowth spell up. Nice, crushes a skeleton trap as well, and that's going to be a deploy right about the same time that overgrowth spell wears off. The Hogs are running to the outside though, and this might have to be a 3-star after all.
Okay, there goes another overgrowth.
Again.
But he's like really doing the same thing as in the first attack. He's leaving the town hall as the last building, and I do not understand this approach with just having to go for the 2-star. I mean, obviously you can still chase for the 3rd star, but why do you do an attack with the town hall as the last building? And he's now saving the king to secure the town hall to have a backup plan, I guess. But this is a really big question mark to me when it comes down to the plan. Now, sending the king in, it says the phrases of the 2nd star is secure, but still a really risky approach on this one, with having the town hall overgrowth now twice. Well, getting the 2nd star here.
Right? He's going to freeze the single Inferno, right? Didn't matter. He's like, whatever, who cares? 2 stars claimed by Celino, sacrificing his king to the core Inferno. Just gonna let him burn to a crisp. It does not matter at all. Savage Elite have done it! With 2 stars secured, they will have a minimum of 14, and they have knocked Dizzy out of the tournament. Dizzy Esports taking 3rd place now in the May monthly finals. Will have an $8,500 prize waiting for them. But it is going to be up to Savage Elite to return to the upper bracket for the grand finals, facing off against VM Legacy to determine which ticket they will receive.
Yeah, and getting that 2-star, really making sure that that town hall goes down. I feel like, even though it looks strange to us, I mean, it was the plan since the beginning to have that king for the town hall. Since he did not deploy it, that was something we have for sure missed there. But getting that king for the core, and that was as well the reason why he used the lock launcher, to just open up the walls. He wanted to clear the left and right side with the root riders, so having them even split was a good thing for him, I guess. And then having that king for the town hall compartment. So good job to Cedinho, sacrificing his hit rate for his team. But I think he can be happy with that. I think the hit rate is not as important anymore, but getting that safe 2-star and making sure that they are getting to the finals, because this is now what is on their mind. They are indeed in the finals from the lower bracket, but because they're in the finals from the lower bracket, they have to win twice, back to back, versus VM Legacy, who so far have looked really strong. You have to give them that, good on offense, on defense, and this is not going to be an easy team to beat, and you have to do it twice.
Well, I guess your win rate is always going to be more important than your hit rate. And for Celino to give us a bit of a strange walk-off performance, getting the only 2-star in that war, not a perfect war from Savage Elite, they still knew that that was all that they really had to do, was to get the dub. Maybe it was showing a little bit of respect to the defensive setup by Dizzy Esports to not try hard for the triple, and to just take that safe 2-star path. Dizzy set up a pretty tricky base to have to finish off for the guaranteed 2-star, and so the fact that it even kind of made me sweat for a minute there, whether or not Savage Elite were going to be able to close it out with the win, is testament to Dizzy's great base building and their solid offense. They slipped up once, but I really expect and hope that we'll see Dizzy again in future months, where they'll have more opportunities to try to push back toward the top again and find that golden ticket opportunity. They've been to the very end of the upper bracket, but with 2 losses in a row now, they have been eliminated. Dizzy Esports, commiserations to you, and congratulations really on a well-done performance. They were in the top half of participants in this month's bracket, but 3rd place is just such a tough position to finish in. You don't get either ticket. You come down from the upper bracket feeling like you're on top of the world, and this is a really hard fall for them to have to rally back from in future months. Savage Elite, on the other hand, though, have completed their rally. They've finished off their lower bracket run and are going now to the grand finals, facing off against VM Legacy.
Yeah, it was just this one attack for them which did fall short. But in the end, we have Banal as MVP for his team. With the Queen Charge Lalo, I can totally understand that. That was a beautiful attack to watch for sure. Getting that Queen into that core, and then with a Lalo cleanup. Nicely done. And, well, this means that we see him and his team again. But, well, having now Carbon and Eric back, what did you guys make out of this last match? Carbon, let's start with you.
Oh man, it was just that first attack setting the tone of the match. It is so unfortunate. And it's just a heartbreaker with a 1 star that comes in. You hate to see it, but hey, it happens at this stage because of the risk you take of an overgrowth, troops avoiding it, and it's just an unfortunate situation there for Dizzy Esports. But still, great job there to Savage Elite. They have guaranteed themselves a silver ticket now, and we will be getting ready for the grand finals. Eric, what was your thoughts on that match?
Can't hear you yet, Eric. I do want to just say that I think that was really significant, that was the only war where we did not see a perfect war from either team. I think Eric's back with us now, so take it back, sir.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that Savage Elite had almost exactly, like literally exactly the same scenario happen to them in the war that knocked them down to the lower bracket in the first place. Remember, they had the 1 star 97% exactly played out like what happened to DZ Esports there. So like they know exactly how it feels to be in DZ's spot, but they don't know how it feels to be eliminated, as we see that they are now advancing into the grand finals. And they're going to have to beat VM Legacy twice to be able to take the golden ticket, but they are at least at a minimum guaranteed a silver ticket to last chance qualifier now.
Well, you heard my thoughts already. You know, I think it's pretty impressive that we saw a pivot in strategy from Savage Elite that last run, knowing that they only needed to get the 2 star to finish things off. That's the only war that we've seen where neither team got a perfect war. They're adaptable, they're working well on the fly, but they still have a huge hurdle ahead of them with VM Legacy, an undefeated team sitting at the very top, performing at the best that they ever have. Perfect war after perfect war. And yeah, the only team remaining that has a stat line that can still stack higher above Savage Elite's 99.6% average destruction on a 14.8 average star performance. VM Legacy is the team to beat right now.
Yeah, VM Legacy has been setting the tone with the very fast average attack durations, and Savage Elite, they know they have to be hitting at around a minute 15. If they could do that, they have a really good chance of trying to force a bracket reset. If they can't do that, then that means VM Legacy just has to win 1 match here, and they are getting that golden ticket. So who is going to be able to get the second golden ticket? Because remember, this year, not as many golden tickets going to be handed out, only 6. Last year there was 8, so every single one is that much more valuable, and you have to do your absolute best to try to win it, so you don't have to play in a last chance qualifiers. And VM Legacy, what a lineup we have here, Itsu.
Yeah, just take a look at those hit rates. It's crazy to say that Cynthia is the one with the lowest 3-star rate with a 91%. It's just unbelievable. Falaxi as well with a 94%, but he is the finisher for his team. He has to do those last attacks, which he does so good. And we have even someone with a perfect hit rate on the team as well with Max. We have the person with the fastest average attacking time on that team as well with Darkstar. It is just a really stacked lineup, and I feel like if you want to beat this team, you do not need to be scared of their first attacks, because I feel like the first 2 attackers of VM Legacy, they are going to put pressure on the other team with their incredible fast attacks. At least this is what happened so far in the tournament, and I feel like you just have to ignore that and keep doing your thing and hoping that the remaining attackers are maybe not as quickly in their attacks.
Absolutely. You got to keep your head in the game there, even if things start to go a little bit to the other team. Like, you know, especially when you're sitting there with Darkstar often opening up there for VM Legacy, the current world record holder on attack time at 47 seconds, like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Unbelievable what he's been able to do. But you can't let that get in your head there. You gotta just keep on marching forward there. Don't rush, over rush. I mean, you gotta rush. Let's be real. You gotta move fast, but you can't over rush your attacks there to the point where you end up making mistakes. So it's gonna be a crazy one here. But Carbon, you got an attack you want to break down here?
Indeed. We're going to break down the Bernal attack, the MVP of that last match. And what I want to break down here is how he charges into the space. Notice we have closed compartments all throughout this space right here. And what does he have? Well, 4 super wall breakers. So let's go ahead and play this and look how he's able to charge this queen in. So the path of this queen is to make her way through here. But the only way to get the wall breakers to target these walls is if you take these out. So what he does exactly here is uses 1 wall breaker here, so he can get the king to go through this way. He's going to use another wall, or at least wait till at least that wall opens, so that now once these defenses in here go down, he can continue to open these walls and charge that queen right on through. So notice, opens this wall right here. This expo needs to go down so that he could charge deep into the space. So let's go ahead and pause this right here and break it down even further. So as the queen's charging in here, this is what he wants to take down with the queen. All right, the king's value is off to the far right side, which is going to clear this. That's the king's value. Now what he wants to do is use the warden on ground, and he wants to send the warden with ability and have the RC under the warden ability and clear this. So the final portion of this base is for the Lalo to come through without the warden ability. So the hound moves to this first air defense here, and then continues to fly. So each one of these sections is how they break this base apart. So let's go ahead and play it here and look at the wall break that he's able to charge in. So the wall break will come down here again and open the wall into this section. So let's go and play it here, and we'll see this attack continue to play out. So once this section down here is open, he drops another balloon to test for seeking air mines, and then that last wall breaker right there charges. Oh, it charges right on in right there. I'm taking some screenshots. You know, I'm so amazed of these attacks here. But as we are continued through, notice this side over here. This is where the warden is going to come right through. So the queen continues to her value. We have the headhunters, and then the warden ability comes right through there and protects the hogs as he pops the ability of the royal champion. And now comes the Lalo from the top side as he's continuing around. So he breaks this base down one by one, and he doesn't need the warden with the Lalo as he's continuing to fly through because of the value of the royal champion's ability of those hogs. Super minions ended up coming right through there to help take out the flame flinger. Well, the flame flinger cleared all that, so a fantastic way to charge this base. And it was a really, really strong attack here from Bernal, and he didn't need to bring the root riders because he went back to something that was his favorite attack that he is the best at, and it is the queen charge Lalo. What an amazing attack coming in from Bernal, and that is why he was voted as the MVP of that last match there, Itsu.
Yeah, that was just a super impressive attack. Getting those different stages, having the plan with every single hero for every single compartment, and especially as well planning, as we just nicely highlighted, how to get those wall breaks right and get this queen access to the core, which was a super big game changer. And I mean, the warden and royal champion thing together, that hog rider puppet equipment with the eternal tome, really, really nice and really strong together. But I think we have another interview ready for us as well to take a look at and jump into before our next match then starts. Is that right, Corbin?
Oh, indeed. Well, let's go ahead and welcome the one and only Coco. Coco, how are you doing? What was your thoughts so far of this monthly finals?
Well, hello. First of all, thank you so much for having me. You're all doing an amazing job. It's been a lot of fun cheering from chat with many, many others. The World Championship, it has been an interesting one. I've been comparing it a lot to the previous one that we saw, and we have got a slight meta change. I mean, we have more dragons, more Lalo, and I love that we're actually incorporating the spiky ball as well.
Indeed. Oh, yeah.
Well, with the final then around the corner and possibly a bracket reset and maybe history repeat with the last qualifier. I mean, there are some parallels I want to say with how the last qualifier went down. Who would you pick between VM Legacy and Savage Elite? And since it's possibly a bracket reset, if you think that Savage Elite is going to win the first match, who do you think is going to win the second, if you might pick Savage Elite for the first one?
Well, that might be like the hardest question that you could ask me, because both of these teams, they're just so good. They're so consistent. I don't know which one that my heart says is going to win. Comparing it to like last month as well, we had Synchronic that came out on top. They did phenomenal. They hinted in the very beginning that they had some hidden strategies, and that's when we saw like the jump spell in the very beginning. So I think that when you compare that, if there are some hidden strats that are still around, maybe that could play in someone's favor. But also, they had a lot of base builders on that team. So if that's what it takes, then maybe Savage Elite will take the victory.
Yeah, well, you know, we will have to wait to see, as the grand finals will be coming up next. And what is coming up later at the end of this year is the Clash of Clans World Championship Finals. So, Coco, I know you were able to experience the finals last year. What are you most looking forward to it for this year?
Honestly, being there in person, meeting everyone and seeing all the players, because we watch them play not just in the World Championship, but we know how much work goes into getting to that stage, going through community events, and we have an LCQ this year as well, which is going to be amazing. So honestly, I think that's the key thing, and being able to cheer with everybody else. We could see last year that even the teams that did lose, they were still cheering for their friends in the finals.
Oh,
Yeah, and with experiencing those crazy emotions, I feel like that's what you have to call it. What do you think is going to be an important factor for the last match, for the finals now, and what those teams should bring to the table to maybe have that slight advantage over the other team?
Well, Savage Elite could have an advantage. We know that VM Legacy, they do have some really good players and they have experience on the world stage as well. But going all the way out, and they were our champions last year, I think that could give them an edge. They know how to keep their head in the game. But then we also saw the same thing from Fluxy. Fluxy came in with his head in the game and he got it done, got exactly what he needed for his team. But maybe Savage Elite could have the advantage because they've been together for such a long time.
Yeah, they have been together for a very long time. They got the experience of winning the World Championship, and let's see if they use that experience to try to make it back to try to defend their title. But thank you so much for joining us here, Coco, for today, as we are going to have one more match, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you very soon. So can't wait to see you and hear way more thoughts from your expertise. So with that, now we are going to be getting ready for the grand finals, and it's time to learn our predictions. Who do we think is going to win the grand finals? Is it going to be VM Legacy or is it going to be Savage Elite? Both of them already guaranteed themselves a silver ticket. Why? Because whoever loses gets the silver. The one who wins gets the gold ticket, and they are going to be going to the Clash of Clans World Championship Finals. And wow, we are unanimous across the board. VM Legacy, we have all selected here. Itsu, what's your reasoning behind it?
I mean, they were just so consistent on offense, and especially even though you know the first attackers are going to be fast, it's still putting up pressure on the other team. And I feel like this is always something where the teams are then thinking, okay, they are so quick currently, what can we do to improve our attacks? And this is then where mistakes can happen, because I feel like this is one of the biggest source of mistakes for those teams if they have to speed things up even more, and to go maybe for some more risky approaches to some degree, or where they have to deploy even more things at the same time. And that could be then maybe a big deciding factor. But the community, I don't know if it's our influence here, but 67%. This has to be one of the biggest and most one-sided community votes which we had so far, I believe, right, Eric?
I think the VM Legacy is winning a lot of fans with what they've been able to put up so far, and with so many talented players. Like they have quite literally gathered a super team. Like we the moment we saw this roster being formed months back, we saw that this team was going to be a monster to deal with for anybody to go up against. And so they are definitely delivering on that expectation right there. And we are ready to kick into this. So I guess we'll see Woody and Itsu later on. And let's get ready to kick off this grand finals, Carbon Fin. So you ready for this?
I'm ready. We're going to be giving one of these away. Who is getting the golden ticket to be joining Synchronic Gaming in the this is already the grand finals, in the World Championship later at the end of this year? The pressure is on, and Pato is going to be leading it off for Savage Elite to start.
This is so much pressure on the line here. You have to take this win if you are Savage Elite. Savage Elite will have to beat VM Legacy twice to claim the golden ticket. Otherwise, they walk away with second place there and will have to go after another qualifier or into the last chance qualifier to get their path to go back and defend their title as the current defending world champions. But Pato will kick us off today as Darkstar will play on defense. And this is like a very tense moment for any team. But there we go. Giant arrow shoots across the base there. The moment we begin, you gotta go fast. You know how fast the VM Legacy can move these attacks here, and you have to match it, Carbon.
Oh, indeed. With that queen making her way to the right, the siege barracks off to the left, the root riders going straight on into the right side to go into the defensive king, and that monolith right through there. As the king can burn his abilities, yep, they're gonna get that value, including the ground expo, the multi-arch tower, and the wall break. It allows this king to continue towards the eagle as he decides to go with an overgrowth straight into the core of this base.
Gotta get the extra abilities that are strayed left behind up at the very top there. So drop in Super Barbarians. They can so go start to work on the walls there while Root Riders give the Queen back access to be able to go in and get the scatter shot down up there. But the King doing a fantastic job over left there. Getting joined by the Siege Barracks, P.E.K.K.A.s, and Wizards, and now Super Minions. As the Root Riders, the main force of them, continue around the bottom base. They're reinforced by Super Barbarians, but he's got the Queen in a perfect position to go back into the core of the base there with a couple of Root Riders supporting, and the Royal Champion ability still intact. There's the Rage. Get through this heavy block of defenses, but RC's taking a lot of heat right there. She'll step her way in, and she will secure the Town Hall takedown. He'll lose a bit there as he goes back to the poison, but Carbon looks like he's got it in the bag.
Indeed, we do have a 3-star here, starting it off for Savage Elite. Pato getting it done with a 1 minute and 12-second triple. A fantastic set, a tone to set here in this match. That is a very fast attack. A lot of the fastest attack that we saw from VM in the last match that they had was Darkstar, and that was a minute and 11. So that is a fantastic way to start off this grand finals, and Savage Elite must force a bracket reset in order to have a chance to win. All VM Legacy has to do is win this match, and they take it all. Because they came from the upper bracket, they do get that advantage.
Yeah, and the setting the tone for the war at the very beginning, we saw how big of an impact that made on all the other wars playing up until this point here. But to go out of the gate and hit a minute and 12 seconds is a very impressive way to kick it off. And that'll put the early pressure onto VM Legacy. Show them that they are ready to play fast. They're ready to be able to take their bases down without any trouble. And they just need to match the pace now. And we know that they can, because they've been putting up a lot of wars there that have been hitting right around that pace or slightly above it. But that's a very impressive start there to kick it off. But now Darkstar is currently the world record holder for the fastest attack ever completed in Clash of Clans Esports, holding the record at 4 seconds above the previous record that was, or the next best that was set earlier in this golden ticket competition. But Darkstar is our current world record holder, and we'll see if he can match the pace there from Savage Elite as he goes in with a Root Rider attack of his own.
And he's not waiting at all with that king queen down. Root Riders going in. The jump's going to give that king access towards the ricochet cannon and the enemy royal champion, as the warden's abilities protecting with the overgrowth to the town hall. Eagle artillery stopping everything there in the core from doing any damage, as the royal champion's already deployed as well. Siege barracks came a little bit later there. Okay, he didn't want to use it right away. Let's see how that's going to affect this hit.
You gotta get that king to get back into action. He's looping into this side of the base there, going after Clan Castle troops there instead of going through the walls and going to the very top of the base. But with his ability already being used, he'll just kind of hang out in the middle there and provide some tanking for the troops that are there. There's the freeze. Gotta get the town hall down while he's got the troops right there. And there's still a lot of troops that are circling around the top of the base there trying to deal with what's up there. But he needs to get the town hall down. That's the most important thing right there. The king is stepping into it. The king, is he attacking the wall or is he attacking the town hall? Looks like he went to the eagle artillery there. That town hall is kind of questionable right now. It's going to take him some time to get back to it, Carbon.
Yeah, he's going to have to move his way back. Already burned all the abilities at this point. He can't do anything but watch. The Royal Champion is going to have to go to the Town Hall and finish on top of that, as it is going to be a slower attack than what Pato came in with his very first attack. At about a minute 19, it looks to be minute 20. Yes, indeed, a minute 19 there for Darkstar. And there is a 7-second differential to start. We have ourselves a match, and you got to be as close as possible to try to get to the 60-second mark. And It's all those small details, spring traps on the outside to stop wall breakers, giant bumps, small bumps, things like that to prevent heroes from going into compartments and stop those heroes from getting the initial value, because they know that the troops can just come back around and get it, but that will cost you on time.
And you see that town hall was boxed off, just a circle of walls around it, and that did cause some problems for him there. It did slow him down. He had troops that were right there in the area there that were having the potential to take it down if they could access it, but a lot of times those root riders will ignore the town hall when they're on the first pass by it, because first of all, you're making the overgrowth make it invisible, so they never path into the compartment to break the walls in. But then also the root riders can't even see it if you do leave it up there at less than 50%, so they just end up a lot of times leaving that ring of walls around the town hall, and that makes so that other troops are a little bit slower to go into it. Now sometimes you'll see people go after that style base with like dragons and then use like a blimp to land inside, because you know that sneaky goblins would have no chance of hitting traps, and so then it's kind of a mind game that you're playing with the defender. Do we take the risk and go with the root riders, or do we potentially walk into a bait with a blimp and go with a dragon attack? And it's definitely some very, very high-end top-tier base building in action right there, as now we send it back over to Savage Elite.
Mind games indeed. And I think at the meta right now with Town Hall 16 is the best opportunity for teams to force bracket resets. Last year at Town Hall 15, it seemed like bracket resets didn't really happen because the team that came from the upper bracket was just dominating and doing so well. It was way harder to get 3 stars at the Town Hall 15 meta than it is now for the Town Hall 16. And now I think with the current meta and how it is, the teams that come from the lower bracket have a fantastic opportunity to make a bracket reset and have a chance at trying to take that golden ticket even after you getting that first loss. But here we go with Leo of Savage Elite looking to set the tone again. We saw the first attack from Pato getting 1 minute 12 seconds. Can he hit a mark of just like that? Is it again? No, not Root Riders here. It is the Dragons. We do have an overgrowth as well with that giant arrow.
Giant arrow with the dragons can be very powerful, especially if we can hit a sweeper. He does. He tags the sweeper, and he tags, I think he got 2 air defenses with it as well. And he forms the funnel, like 3 different functions all achieved simultaneously with the giant arrow, and he aims it perfectly. So that's the setup that he's looking for right there. And a lot of times when we're dealing with these dragon attacks that involve the giant arrow, that is a make or break point there that he's able to see. He obviously passed it, but we need to make sure that town hall still is able to go down to the far back into the base there. And when we're using a siege barracks, we're trying to speed things up there, but we obviously put in some inherent risk because we don't blimp out the town hall, but we also take away some risk of getting caught in a tornado trap and knocked into the valley that we were aiming for with it.
Yeah, with super minis coming out of the siege barracks to the left, the Royal Champ already is running to the top side, moving through there with a jump, going to give that queen access to the town hall, but you gotta wait for that overgrowth to disappear, and we're at 50 seconds left, and a lot of the space has already been removed with the rage and freeze still left. A minion up top to try to get a little bit more as finally the overgrowth has worn off. There's the rage, there's a freeze. Does not hit the monolith, but he did hit the town hall here, as this is looking like a fantastic attack here and very quick.
Missing that Sword over the left side of the base there. 1 dragon splits off of it with the Super Minion. Super Minion hits a black air bomb. That Sword will be the last building standing here. So it cost him just a split second. Very, very small loss of time right there. But he locks it in 1:20, I believe, which is going to decrease their average attack time and put them up to 1:16. So 1:21 was the final there for Leo. Solid attack there, but it does open the door for VM Legacy to potentially slip ahead if they can move really fast to the next one.
Yep, it's a matter of just a little bit. If he had a dragon that went to the storage, it probably would have saved about 4 to 5 seconds because they had to
maybe like 1
there.
or 2.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, I feel like the dragon had to make its way over there. If he had a little bit of cleanup behind the Royal Champion a little bit earlier while she was clearing that. And it's just the thing is, you're deploying all these things, and these players, what they have to do is they have to realize, okay, I got to make sure that I'm dropping this cleanup. Can't forget this bit. Can't forget this plan. And they're planning on the smallest details, even though it's like you're thinking overall, okay, you know, it's the straightforward strategy. Okay, use this arrow to get that value sent in between. But no, you have to set the funnel, get the heroes into the base, because what they're fighting for is $18,000. Whoever wins this match, if it is VM, they take home $18,000. If it is Savage Elite, Then we'll play another match, and then the winner of that would take home the first place prize.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're saying that it is a lot of planning to make sure that he has every single thing accounted for, but you also have to account for traps and the unexpected where things don't path the way that you want. So a lot of practice is necessary to be able to react on the fly and make the adjustments. Put those, a lot of their adjustments are with those super barbarians, and so they're limited on how much they can adjust with that, and they have to have those in the right positions to be able to make sure that everybody goes back in the base there if they're potentially leaning out, or give the tanking for the heroes, making sure they got flank support there, making sure the world champion goes directly in the base there and you don't have any perimeter defenses. But then you're also dealing with spring traps out there. There's a lot of things that are going to be working against you and for you. But now we go into Max as we see VM Legacy striking back. Gotta keep it fast here, but Max has been on fire lately. Is he still sitting at 100% hit rate there, Carbon?
Yeah, I believe he is. But you could get a 3-star, but if it's a slow 3-star, your chances of winning are going to be very difficult because they know that it's going to be a perfect. They have that feeling. So Max is definitely capable of bringing a minute 10, minute 12 type of an attack. If you're even lower than that, that gives you a huge advantage here in this match, as we are starting with a wall break off to the left. King's going to go right on into there. There's the Root Riders. He's taking a little bit of a deep breath as he deployed all the troops so far, and now he's going to continue to push his way with that early Warden ability to the bottom, setting the World Champ, popping the King, freezing up the single so that the King can continue through. Poison onto the Headhunters, and the Lava Hound will stall up this World Champion.
Yeah, the Lava Hound is going to anchor down for a little bit there, but he'll overgrowth at the core of the base. They're leaving up a couple buildings in the core. Aims to get the Eagle Artillery under the overgrowth, but always tends to leave a couple of targets in the middle of the base there so they can start to thin it down. Make sure that the overgrowth is clipping the town hall, but it's on the edge of the overgrowth, so it doesn't have to path backwards through the poison when he does return to that area. But he would have loved for the Road Champion to be able to path her way into the scatter shot to the left there, but she's chasing Lava Pups and she ends up on the right side. So that's going to cost him at times. It's going to cost him the Queen's Unicorn, as he does end up getting shot backwards by that, but she'll get to the Eagle Artillery, and now we go back to the core. And these are kind of scattered around the base right now. It's not 100% where things are going to go to make sure that things stay fast, but I think he's got enough force to get it done.
Yeah, he's got nice cleanup around the space. That wizard to the bottom right for that storage really helps in terms of time. Got to go back to that clan castle. Unfortunately, that is going to be the slowest thing here. Looking to help remove the CC. It's up to the RC and that Warden, and about a 1 minute 22 second triple there. And that is going to possibly raise it up a little bit. No, it's right about a minute 20. So it's just a few second differential here that these teams are fighting between.
Yeah, very, very close war. These are razor thin margins here, where only a couple seconds, this one stray building or two can cause something to have to backtrack. And we've already seen that. And even though they did have to backtrack in a couple of these points here, where they just didn't quite have the force to finish off every building into an area, they are keeping the attacks there very, very fast. So they are playing at the highest competitive level as far as the times are clocking in right now. And this is where they need to be. They're both playing at the level that they need to be at. But since they're both there, obviously only one team gets the golden ticket.
Only one indeed. Whoever is the quickest with a perfect war, if that is the situation, which is most likely looking how it's going to be because of the teams of what they've done so far. It's been amazing runs. VM Legacy's coming from that upper bracket. Yes, Savage Elite did get knocked down a lower bracket, but they've earned their spot back here. Both these teams already have a silver ticket, because if you lose, that is what you're going to get. But of course, they're going for that golden ticket. They want to be able to compete later at the end of this year, compete against Sakrana Gaming, who already got it last month. And we do have 2 more opportunities for you at home to try to earn a golden ticket by competing in the June and July Open qualifiers. That's where you at home can create your own team and say, you know what? I have what it takes. I could bring 60-second triples with my team and we could take them down. Well, you know, the stage is open, so best of luck to you all. But these teams really make a name for themselves because they keep showing up time and time again. It just proves how good they are.
Yeah, it's always impressive to me knowing that literally anybody, every single esports team, every single person who wants to try to make an esports team signs up for these tournaments and plays. but we still have the same handful of players rising to the top when everybody's put on an equal playing field to begin. And it just goes to show you the skill of these players, that they are able to do this over and over and over. And even after reset, they rise to the top every single time. But here we go. Our defending world champions are back in for more with a slight time advantage, roughly 8 seconds in the overall, 4 seconds on the average, as Bernal is going to shoot a giant arrow through the core of the base. And I'm looking for if he got sweepers out of that. I see that he got a sweeper right by the town hall in between the expos out there, and that is going to set him up initially, while he also gets the funnel form to the side of the base there and spawns the healers with the healer puppet all in the same stroke.
And he drops that overgrowth there. You're thinking, okay, well, he drops the overgrowth, so why did he drop it so early? Well, because remember, there's a time. You have to wait out the full duration of it. So if he drops it early, he's timing that the dragons are going to make it to the core, and the overgrowth will still be there, so they don't take the damage that is unnecessarily. He wants that overgrowth to disappear perfectly so that the dragons' next targets are those buildings. So what a smart use of the overgrowth early enough to get that value.
But not only that, Carbon, like overgrowth was also making so that the sweeper that was pointing to the core of the base there, that was still standing, was able to prevent any knockback as he pushed through the core of the base there. So he literally went face first into a double sweeper, but he had a plan for both of them, utilizing the giant arrow and the overgrowth to make sure that he locks them down. And look at the attack time on this one. Bernal locks it in at 1 minute and 10 seconds. Very, very solid attack time. And they were already solid, but they just improved their times even more.
What an attack from Bernal. That was so quick. Minute 10, fastest one yet. That is a brilliant job there for Bernal, getting the value and the overgrowth, using it early. I was initially thinking, oh, Bernal, you're doing it way too early. Why? It's not even affecting the... Oh, okay, the troops, or that overgrowth will eventually disappear when the dragons make it there. He's thinking 10 steps ahead than us, and well done. What an attack there. A brilliant hit from Bernal, and really establishing their dominance so far in the grand finals. But hey, plenty more attacks. VM Legacy, they are still in this, just a matter of a few seconds differential. So if they bring a very quick attack, then they can be right back in it, can try to tie up the match. But the first two attackers that came in, Darkstar and Max, were typically one of the fastest attackers on their team. So now it's up to the rest of them to try to bring the average attack down.
Yeah, very, very true. And it's so crazy to see how they use the overgrowth, like the timing on that. That's so crazy because when you're trying to push the timers down to like a minute, when you're trying to push all the way down to as close to a minute or less to be able to get those attacks done, and you're trying to get that overgrowth to wake up right at the perfect time, you got 28 seconds of overgrowth. I've even seen some people be so extra with their overgrowth there that they only get donated one when they want the extra time, and then they have some of their accounts there, like you see a lot of these top pro players where they'll leave some of their accounts with lower level overgrowth then instead of just maxing it out completely so that they have options to be able to have it wake up exactly the moment that they want it to. And those are the small little details that these guys are able to plan into their attacks. It's just kind of insane to watch.
It's like, you think about that, like, yeah, I'm purposely not going to upgrade it so that I can then have a lower time, so I can time it in. And that's what these pro players are able to do. They're able to really think about it. They think about all the small details. And here we go with Cynthia. His previous attack involved dragons and a giant arrow. We're going to see something similar as well, or is he going to be going to the ground with the Root Riders? Cynthia is definitely the attacker, known to love to bring those hogs, especially last year in the Town Hall 15 meta. He definitely could bring 60 plus hogs if he wanted to, but the question is, it's not going to be a fast attack because there's not much cleanup there. But we're going to see now Cynthia with rocket loot,
giant arrow, fireball.
What? What
This is crazy.
This?
This is crazy, Carbon. He's gonna go for everything here. There's the lightning to the core of the base there. There's the giant arrow. Synthe's going to risk his golden ticket on the fireball giant arrow and 29 rocket blues. There's the fireball. There's the Blippy protected under the eternal tome, and we're off to the races here, Carbon.
Oh gosh, the town hall goes down just like that. Rocket Loon's coming in to the left. Rocket Loon's going to the bottom side. That Royal Champion also going to the left of the scatter. The King's ability's already been used. The Queen's making her way through. That Town Hall is gone. The Clan Castle of Ice Golems, he's not even going to worry about them. He's just flying around. Minions are down for cleanup, and my goodness, look at him crushing right up through this base.
Gotta get the scatter shot to the right of the base there down, but the Royal Champion still looking good. Ice Golems are being dealt with there. She's trying to escape there. She pops her haze file, trying to go to that Expo at the very top, but he's got to clean up all around. There's so many minions being brought into attack. Remember, no lava hounds to bring more rocket balloons, and he has to bring all these extra minions for cleanup. And oh my god! Holy Synthé! This one is right on the verge of going under a minute, but that storage stays standing. But still, a minute and 2 seconds. 62 seconds, and the base is gone.
Oh my, and he ties the match up just like that. 62 seconds brings the attack down from a minute 20 down to a minute 14. What an attack. Bringing the fireball, giant arrow, rocket loons. It looks like that might be one of the fastest strategies that they could be bringing now, and not bringing the Root Riders and Valkyries. What a plan there. And especially when it's just ice golems, just ignore them. They won't even die, you know, just fly around them, and then you 3-star. Because remember, 1, you don't have to kill the CC troops. 2, you don't have to take out the enemy heroes. Those can stay up. All you have to do in an attack to get a 3-star is remove every single building. That is it. You can leave everything else up. Granted, you usually always take them down in order to get through the buildings, but in this one, Cynthia, what an attack.
Yeah, that was insane. The fireball, I was expecting him to throw a fireball deeper in the base there, but he just used it on the edge just to make sure that he could deliver that blimp into the town hall. Like, that was a very interesting way to do it. But I mean, if you're just using the warden to deliver the blimp and you're just using the eternal tome, like, it was like, what other equipment would you use there? Like, you could throw in a life gem or something like that and waste it, a rage gem, waste that. It doesn't really matter what other piece of equipment if you're using the warden specifically to deliver the blimp. And so fireball makes a lot of sense right there. And the value that he's able to get in the very, very middle of the base there with the giant arrow and the lightning made so there wasn't a lot of targets on the most interior part of the base. And that made so the rocket balloons with their haste are able to reach all of the remaining buildings. And then with the hero supporting, that was insane. That was wild there for Synthé.
Absolutely crazy. And the brilliant thing of that Warden Fireball was he took out the enemy queen in the process. So he took her down so that since there's no enemy queen, the Rocket Loons can continue to move through and don't have to worry about taking her out. So he took her down. He took all the defenses around it, the regular buildings as well, and protected the blimp. Just an amazing plan from Cynthia there, and almost cracked the 60-second mark. But that was a huge attack to bring them back down and tie this match up.
Yeah, now the pressure's on for Savage Elite. They had the lead established, and now the lead is obviously threatened right here since they move so incredibly fast on that one. That's going to be tough to match here for Savage Elite. So they got their work cut out for them, but Loop is getting ready for the next attack here as he will return fire against Synthé, and we'll see if our defending world champions can force the bracket reset. And right now, look at the average attack time. 1 minute and 14 seconds to 1 minute and 14 seconds. Synthé delivers, and now the pressure's on as we get basically a full reset into the last 2 attacks of this war for each team.
Oh yeah, with that Warden down, with the Dragons going to come through, popping that Insta Warden ability, helping protect the Dragons, the balloons as he moves his way through. Doesn't use a blimp. That Siege Barracks is off to the left so that P.E.K.K.A.s can help clear some outside buildings, but he still has the Queen ability and an Overgrowth still to use.
I'm seeing that he is avoiding the Clan Castle area there with his heroes, keeping them far over to the right. but he needs to get somebody to step in there and destroy the clan castle building. So the dragons are right there. Super minis are joining the area there, but the dragons finally start to split. One of them does at least, and he'll freeze to make sure that it has the force to get it down. There's the rage, making sure that the clan castle goes down so it doesn't get stalled up on potential ice golems. He holds the poison. He can now use the poison for somewhere else on the base there, since he didn't need it for the clan castle. But the queen with her healing puppet pops over the right side of the base there, and she can use that poison into the grass skellies, but instead he puts it onto the defensive for a champion, and the grass skellies are going to pull right into it.
Ooh, those dragons by the town hall are going to get slowed down a little bit. The town hall is hitting, red air bomb popping up. Things are disappearing. That multi-archer tower raged up. It's doing a lot of damage. No way.
Carbon. Is this happening right now? A 1-star in a golden ticket. Finals. This is insane. I cannot believe that just happened. The dragons just melted into the Rage Tower. There was so much splash damage right there. Rage Tower boosting the multi-inferno, the multi-archer tower, and the town hall, and Synthé. Oh, there's a candidate for MVP after Synthe's attack plus his defense.
What? Synthé. His attack, 62 seconds. His base gets 1 starred, and that, my friends, is a devastating blow to Savage Elite with a 1-star, with only the one final attack to come in for Savage Elite. Now, all VM Legacy has to do is just 2-star, get a 3-star, and they are victorious to get a golden ticket and lock their plans for the Clash of Clans World Finals later at the end of this year. I mean, still some attacks to come in with, but now they can take a big, deep breath.
Oh yeah, that's a massive pressure taken off of their shoulders there. But then not completely, because we are seeing a lot of anti-2-star bases, and we've seen a lot of 1-stars. Like, this is not the first 1-star that we've seen. In fact, that's Savage Elite's second 1-star throughout this entire competition. The one that they lost in the very first round yesterday was also a 1-star that put him down in the lower bracket and made him have to play through this lower bracket run. But then their opponent in the lower bracket finals also got a 1-star. So like, you're seeing 1-stars come in roughly about as often as you see 2-stars come in, because of the way that they approach these bases. When they are purposely skipping the town hall and then circling back to it using these overgrowth to try to speed things up and avoid the town hall poisons and blast, then these things happen. And it could still happen in reverse here, as VM Legacy is still not clear. You don't have the golden ticket until you have it in your hands. And so they have to stay the course here, and Ninja will go next.
Ninja is up to take on Seleno. Can Seleno get a 1-star? Ninja's going to do his absolute best not to get a 1. He needs to confirm at least the 2. He's going for the 3. Let's see the plan that he's going to bring. Is it going to be the Root Riders with the Velks, or is he going to be switching it up now that he saw a 1-star? Sticking with the Root Riders and Velks indeed. Does have that overgrowth, but we do see a town hall towards the very top side of the base as the king is deployed to the bottom near the Eagle Artillery and that clan castle here.
Seems to be trying to set up the queen to be able to potentially go to the town hall, so we'll keep a close eye on her if she's the one who has to take it down. But he will put the queen right in the defensive queen, and it looked like she had a frozen arrow there, I think, to make sure that she could win that fight against the defensive queen. But we got to see what happens with her. He's got wall breaks, he's got the siege breaks to put to the right side, and he's putting everything opposite of the town hall. This is the risk I'm talking about. They continuously take this risk, and the queen goes to an early ability, drops in super barbs, but they're hitting spring traps up there. I'm watching that queen like a hawk right now, because I feel like that is the most important part of this attack here. Right now, it's not going 100%, but I think he's still got a lot of force going through to the overgrowth right now. Yeah,
he's got a lot of Root Riders up there. He's got a jump. He's got 2 freezes and a rage still to utilize. While that overgrowth is doing fantastic work, he can try to freeze up the town hall to mile up, but there is the invisibility spell tower right next to the town hall. You have to keep that in mind as he decides to freeze so the queen can go for the town hall. Rages up the raw champion, popped her ability, doesn't even need the jump at this point. Maybe he forgot to switch it out or something. The town hall goes down, and it is a 3-star for Ninja. What an attack, and he swags the jump, and they are 1 attack away from getting a golden ticket.
Gotta hold strong. One more to go here. And yeah, that was all smiles right there. He knows that he brought that jump spell, and he probably was just, you know, you get in the moment there and you forget to do something. You're like, oh yeah, you're looking back, I probably should have used that jump, but it didn't matter. 1 minute and 19 seconds as he makes quick work of that base there. And even if the 1-star didn't happen, that still would have been in a perfect position to put them where they need to be. So that's what we're talking about right there. But now we go back over to Savage Elite, and they obviously have to triple out from here. If they make another mistake there, then any chance to get a big defense against Fluxy will not have an impact on the outcome of the war here. So they have to triple this, take whatever time they need, and make sure that they secure it. But Fluxy will be on defense here as Seleno goes in with the Dragons, and once again, the Overgrowth. All risk is acceptable on this one.
Yep, you can take all the risk indeed, as we have the King coming on the bottom side with the Skelly spell out in front, so that King can path his way in towards the Ricochet Cannon, towards the enemy Queen, while he deploys the Stone Slammer to help set that funnel. The Warden Dragons are down to path their way into the Eagle Artillery now.
Got to get the Clan Castle dealt with if we can. I see a couple of Headhunters and Archers popping out of there. So once again, the heroes stay away from the Clan Castle range to prevent whatever is heavy in there from pulling out, whether that be Lava Hound or Ice Golems or something else. There's something heavy in there, and the Dragons will be in charge of making sure that it never goes out. But the Dragons are kind of avoiding the Clan Castle right now, so the King steps dangerously close to the range right there. But it looks like he's going to beat on some walls there, trying to get the defensive Queen. King trying to get through the walls there, but he goes down, goes to Phoenix, and there's one Dragon still working on the CC, and he does ultimately pull out the Ice Golem. So not ideal right there, but I think overall, I think he can handle that. He's still looking to be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, with the Dragons coming to the top side, you're going to have to wait for that Overgrowth to disappear, as the Dragons do get pulled to this Ice Golem here, unfortunately, but he goes with the freeze. We do have a Super Dragon, and that was probably inside that Stone Slammer, as it was now doing some work. Going to have to get through this Town Hall. He freezes, but missed the Town Hall yet again.
He froze it twice, trying to span the gap in between the bottom of the Town Hall, but it's okay because the World Champion has the top and the base there under control. The Queen wraps around with the Healer Puppet, and he does get the triple. But now the question is it enough? He's got the triple on the board, and that'll put him to 13 stars, but that is 2 stars behind VM Legacy if they triple. So they have to bank on the defense here, and now the question is, does Fluxy take any risk whatsoever? Because Seleno was, or actually was it Seleno? Was in this exact situation in the match right before this, and he went for the safer approach to make sure that the Town Hall went down no matter what, and I feel like Fluxy needs to do exactly the same, regardless of whether they 3-star or not. Make sure that Town Hall drops.
Well, Fluxy, all you gotta do is get a 2-star. Eric, do you remember? 2 stars wins wars, right? That's how it works. 2 stars wins wars.
Everybody knows.
Go. Everyone knows, as it is the Root Riders and 1 Valk. Not Valk, but it's a single Valkyrie here, as we got
Queen
healers onto this Queen. Yes, a Queen charge into Root Riders here.
Yeah, he's going to Queen charge directly at the Town Hall. Make it his priority here. As long as we go to the Town Hall, the early parts of the attack there, that we still have a lot of different backup methods in our pocket to be able to go into it later. But it's got that invisibility tower there, so he needs to be careful. But the damage around the Town Hall is relatively low. The damage on the entire base is spread pretty evenly throughout, so the Queen is not under any major threat there to get overwhelmed. And as long as he steps in there, gets the Town Hall down, he can spam those Root Riders anywhere he wants, and he should be able to easily gather the 50% there. And so as soon as that Town Hall goes down, then it's looking like they got a golden ticket. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, there goes the Town Hall. Here goes the Root Riders, and VM Legacy is about to get their ticket into the World Championship.
And Fluxy's pushing the Root Riders with that Warden ability to the top side. King can burn his ability to help take out the Eagle Artillery. Clan Castle comes down. He's getting closer to the 50%. And ladies and gentlemen, there it is. 50% 2-star achieved. And that means that they have earned the 2nd golden ticket here now in the May monthly finals. What a fantastic performance from VM Legacy throughout the competition this month, and deserve this golden ticket. The defensive invisibility spell gets activated there as he continues to wrap around the space, and now he can just sit back and relax.
He's got plenty of spells here, but yeah, that means now we have 2 teams qualified to the World Championships. They will join Synchronic and go play for the $1 million prize pool at wherever we end up having the World Championship this year. But, you know, they got to be feeling good about that. They don't have to sit in the stands and be a spectator this year, as a lot of that team actually was at the World Championship just spectating. And so this year they get to be on the field playing and claiming one of the top seeds as well. Getting the second golden ticket is a very, very big deal. And you know he's happy about it, but he's not settled with just a 2-star. He triples it anyways. They got 50 stars, and Fluxy sends his team to Worlds.
What a performance from VM Legacy, getting that golden ticket. And we will see Savage Elite later at the end of this year for the last chance qualifier. But they still have the opportunity to try to earn a golden ticket in future qualifiers. So that is definitely what's going to be on top of their mind. VM Legacy, they can now relax and just wait for the World Championship later at the end of the year. They had an amazing run, totally deserve this golden ticket. We're going to be giving it to VM Legacy. What a performance from them. And they just showed why they went from the upper bracket, did not lose, and kept winning. What a performance.
You know, Carbon, I think when we were out in Poland and we gave away the golden tickets last year, they were a lot bigger. They were a lot bigger. So you need to go work on that.
I need to
get a much bigger one there because it's okay. It's okay. We'll let him cook there and get some more golden tickets printed out there to send out to these teams. My goodness, but wow, that's an insane run from them. And I think the VM Legacy, I think for a lot of people, was the favorite to go into this competition. I think a lot of people were saying when they were looking at the two teams that won and came in through the upper bracket of stage 2 of the competition, it was VM Legacy and Early Attacks. And now we see VM Legacy take it. And we talked about it so much there, as VM Legacy has gathered a crazy, crazy roster here. They just gathered all of the free agent all-stars that had been mixed around different teams throughout the community. Like Fluxy, for example, he used to play for Tribe Gaming. He played in Tribe Gaming and came in second place with them when they lost to Navi in the 2022 World Championship, and he came back roaring for more. That wasn't the end of his World Championship performances, because now he's going to set his team in for another one. And now Savage Elite, like you said, with that loss there, the devastating 1-stars, 2 1-stars ultimately cost them in their initial drop down to lower bracket and then their elimination here. So very, very unfortunate, but man, Synthé absolutely deserving of MVP right there, Carbon.
Indeed, 59% of the vote right there, coming in with a 62-second triple and the 1-star defense against his base. An unbelievable performance and totally deserved. Wow, what a performance coming in from VM Legacy, and they will be coming back at the end of this year here, and I'm just completely shocked from what they did. They brought in, yes, Root Riders, Valks, but they also brought different attack strategies, and I can't wait to see how are they going to be able now to plan for Worlds, because that is what they're going to be focused on. They don't have to play in any future qualifier. They can relax and really break it down. But I'm hearing that we now have an interview with the one and only Fluxy of VM Legacy. So let's go ahead and welcome Fluxy here and congratulate him on winning this golden ticket. So once that interview is ready, we'll bring it there. And just, Eric, this is just an incredible job from them.
Yeah, but like you were saying, their job is... Oh, there we go. We got
Hello.
Fluxy. We'll talk about that in a second. Fluxy, how you doing? How you feeling after that win?
Yeah, very good. It's nice to see all the time and effort pay off. And yeah, time to celebrate.
Time to celebrate indeed. You will be heading back to the World Finals. You have experience on the big stage. So now you have experience along with Cynthia, and a lot of the other players have experience on stages before. But what are you going to do to prepare for the World Finals?
Well, I guess we'll see how the meta changes. It's a long time. So I think if we prepare similarly to the way we did today, I think, or the past weeks, I think we'll have a good chance.
Yeah, that's always a very difficult thing to prepare for something that's far away, because we don't know where the meta is going to go here. So I mean, now VM Legacy is in a very, very strong position where you're going to now have a lot of eyes on you. How does the pressure of getting the golden ticket here now affect your other tournaments as we play and continue to practice for the World Championship?
Well, I don't think it changes much. I mean, we believe that we're definitely one of the favorites to get a gold ticket. Now we've done that. That's our first goal done, but we have more goals. We're not stopping here. Just, I think World Finals is the biggest thing.
Absolutely. The biggest goal that you're going for. You got that golden ticket. You'll be able to fight for that at the end of this year. But I am curious about your preparation for this match, for this tournament this weekend. How many hours were you guys on voice practicing over the last week, over the last month? Walk us through the preparation that you guys did to get this golden ticket.
Yeah, a lot of hours. I think we had most of our bases ready, about between 20 and 40, I think, before stage 2 ended. And then the last week, I think all of us have been over 10 hours a day screen time, probably 7-8 hours a day on voice. It's, a lot. So I'm glad that it's over now.
I got one last question for you. How much time of that match did you spend trying to talk Cynthia out of doing that crazy plan? Because that was insane. And any final thoughts there, or any final shout outs for anybody you want to give out?
Well, he said the plan quite early, and all of us just said yes. We trust him. We saw the plan as well. It makes sense. And I mean, that hit turned the war, I think. I think without that, the war might look different.
Yeah.
Any final shout outs?
I mean, shout out to everyone. I mean, all of us had a lot of support, lots of messages. Base building team, the scouting, the managers, the organization, like everyone. Honestly, thank you a lot. I don't think it'd be possible without all of you.
Well, again, congratulations to you and VM Legacy for earning the second golden ticket here in the May monthly finals. And cannot wait to see you guys in the World Championship later at the end of this year. And can't wait to see what you guys do in local and community tournaments throughout the rest of this year leading up to that. You guys are going to bring so many amazing attacks, so many amazing attack strategies, teaching us so much. So again, huge congratulations and wish you guys the best of luck. So let's go ahead and now welcome back Itzu and Woody here. And it's just what a weekend of amazing wars that we had. And VM Legacy going all the way from the upper bracket, continuing to win. It just, they put on an amazing performance. Itzu, what was your thoughts so far?
I mean, if there is some player who's bringing in something completely different than what the meta is looking like, then it has to be Cynthia. And he's just one of the first persons to play with the giant arrow a lot. He is now incorporating with the fireball into all of that as well, and somehow finishing off with the rocket launch. That was a super impressive attack, and as Foxy said, I think that was really like the somehow shift within that match, really forcing then more pressure on the other team and maybe force some mistakes, which we have then seen later. So I watched it as mind-blowing to see what he somehow came up with, and it's just well funny. Like, I think as soon as you're that long together as a team, you just trust your teammates as well. So seeing that Fluxy says, okay, we just gave all of our thumbs up, he knows what he's doing, ready to go, that already says a lot about that team. I think I'm looking forward to see them again then later this year. Woody, how about you, and how do you feel about the match?
Well, I think it was very well summed up by Fluxy there at the end. This is a squad that trusts each other until the end. They have complete faith in each other. It's a lock-tight crew. And I mean, they're great on social media as well. I don't know if you're following at Fluxy Clash, but if you're not, you ought to be over there. There's great stuff to keep your eyes peeled. But Vogue, Mary are now going to be at the Clash of Clans World Championship 2024, wherever it may be. Let's take a look once more at the predictions.
Wow,
of course,
Woody.
I want to throw the predictions because
Wow,
I was
Woody.
perfect all the way through. But we had some pretty solid predictions from you guys as well, and I think maybe at least I can make up from the mistakes that I was making yesterday.
I am impressed, Woody. What a performance by you, and I am the sole one out. Don't go with my predictions. I am not good. I am not. I will predict who will get it wrong. That's who I was going for, right? But congrats again to VM Legacy. What a run they had, coming in as the number 2 seed of this tournament, going perfect, and perfect 3 times in a row, and they have won the second golden ticket. And here are the final standings here at Itzu.
Yeah, final standings, and this means VM Legacy is getting those $18,000, but even more important to them, I think, is the golden ticket. Savage Elite is getting the 12,000 and the silver ticket, which means they are then in the last chance qualifier if they might not get another golden ticket later this year. But overall, it was an incredible tournament with ups and downs and a lot of matches which started, well, like one set would win, but we have seen a lot of turnarounds and a lot of comebacks within those matches, Eric.
Yeah, but walking away with $18,000 there from VM Legacy, and now we get to see them added to our golden ticket leaderboard there, along with Synchronic, and then silver tickets are currently Vitang and Savage Elite, as they will now be putting their name in the hat there to continue to go play for the last chance qualifier later on in the year. But they will have the chance to get into the next 2 open qualifiers here to try to get another chance at a golden ticket before they have to go there. So if they could upgrade their silver ticket to a golden ticket, that would be their dream scenario, and that's what they're going to be aiming for.
Well, it would be good news for the 3rd place team if that does manage to happen. You know, I know Dizzy Esports would be happy to get their 3rd place upgraded to a silver ticket. But I guess just wrapping out the month, the final thoughts here is that the competition is as hot as ever. Expect anything less than perfection from your squad, and you're going to be fighting an uphill battle until the end. We saw 15 stars across the board from Vogue Mary, doing extremely well with the Root Riders. Who knows what's going to happen to the metagame over the course of the following months as we lead into Worlds. But as far as it stands for the month of May, Vogue Mary is the best team in Clash of Clans right now. And we're really looking forward to more action in the months to come. I know I'm going to be stepping away soon, so just wanted to thank all of the co-casters again for their amazing job today. Y'all might have fallen a little bit behind on predictions, but on game knowledge, you surpassed me all the way through. Carvin, I'll toss it back to you now, sir.
Oh man, it was an incredible weekend, and it's just gonna keep getting better each and every month. And remember, for next month, you can compete just like VM Legacy did here of getting a golden ticket. It will be open again for the open qualifiers for anyone in Clash of Clans to form a team and compete. You just have to be able to be in the top 128, make your way down the top 6, and to be able to eventually win in the monthly finals, which is a very difficult task to do. But VM Legacy, again, a huge congratulations to them, and thank you to all of you at home for watching, the players, the production, and any final words from you, Itzu, as well?
I mean, I'm just looking forward to more Clash over the next couple of months, and I'm looking forward as well to who's actually able to claim the next couple of golden tickets, because with limiting the amount of golden tickets which are given away this year, there's just so many good teams out there. I cannot wait to see who's actually going to claim the last remaining golden tickets, and that's the one thing I'm looking forward to the most. How about you, Eric?
Well, I'm always interested to see how the meta shifts, because we've seen the meta shift from where it was to where it is now. And we see all of these players adapting to the meta so perfectly. And you see the same teams, the same players rise to the top, complete mastery over this game. And so I'm very excited to see how the meta shifts there as we continue to get closer and closer to the World Championship, and how these teams make adjustments and what new strategies are able to emerge, especially like what we just saw out of Cynthia right there at the end, giving a nice send-off for this World Championship. But guys, thank you so much to everybody out there for coming out, supporting the teams. Thank you to Supercell for putting on this tournament. Thank you all for watching this month's May qualifier for the World Championship of Clash of Clans. Clash on!